All right. Just 1 second here. There we go. Should be finally ready. Well, certainly not as late as yesterday. But we are ready to go. Oh, is OBS ready to go? Or are you going to be... No, you're not going to be stupid? That's good. I like to play different games on here. I'm sure everyone knows by now. Trying to play some interesting, stranger, out there titles. And, well, I sometimes like to stick to a theme. Rhythm game Thursdays. I do tend to stretch said themes a bit. But this is a game that I've kind of had in mind to stream for a while. And considering how well last year's run of a visual novel went, I think we could try it again. Maybe something a little less weird than last year's game. But, test it out. If it goes well, might end up doing more of these in the future. I have some others that I wouldn't mind possibly streaming through at some point. So this is Symphonic Rain. It is a mix of a visual novel and rhythm game. See what I did there? And I don't really know much about it. The rhythm game part seemed pretty interesting. The visual novel, the plot seemed kind of interesting. As far as I know, it's perfectly safe to stream. I mean, Twitch has a category for it. I doubt they would have a category for a banned game. So, yeah, we're going to jump in and play this. It's actually been a while since even I've played a visual novel, but I've played a couple before. Get everything all going here. This is gonna be fun. 3 hours of me talking constantly. Just like Doki Doki Panic. That was fun. Chris, is it raining again there? Letters from Maria always started like that. The weather here is nice, as always. Oh, I might have to turn up the text speed. That's gonna suck. It's kind of slow. So much so that I wish I could share some of it with you. You see, Chris, even talking about the weather reminds me how far away you are. It's so hard. Recently, it occurred to me that we've been living like this for almost 3 years. After this month, it'll already be next year. And then after another 2 months, you'll finally be back, right? After I realized that, time seems to have slowed down a little. It was hard right after you left, but it's hard at times like this, too. And now that the day you come back is getting closer, I'm getting kind of scared. You think that's strange? Hope that we can spend the end of the year together like we always do. But you have your performance, so I guess I won't know if you'll be free to spend any time with me, right? Even I don't know if I'll be free or not. I'll explain more in a letter before Natalie, so make sure you write back too, Chris. That reminds me. Torta wrote me. She told me you still haven't decided on a partner for your graduation performance. I don't know, she seemed really worried. Don't you think you should decide soon? I can't wait another year. I'm starting to ramble. Continued in my next letter. Love, Arietta. Took my eyes off the letter and played with the feeling of the letter paper still on my fingertips. It always took me a little time to recover from the lingering emotions. I just sat there motionless for a while before finally folding up her letter. Carefully put it back in its pretty envelope just the way it came, and stowed it away with the usual drawer. Marie's letters were so short they could fit on a single piece of paper, but the drawer was now almost filled with her letters, as if to show how much time had gone by. She gave me enough blank paper to fill the drawer and said, "Someday, when that drawer is stuffed full of your letters, you'll be back, right?" To keep the promise I made to her, I performed this ritual once a week, every week. I closed the drawer quietly, then leaned back in the chair to check the view, and the clock. Already 6 o'clock. Night was closing in. That being said, the scene outside didn't change dramatically. The already gloomy sky just got a little darker. The rain pattered endlessly against the window. What do you mean already 6 o'clock? Hurry up and write a reply so we can do some ensembles. Her light wings gently cutting the air, Forney floated from the window still to the desk. Then she gently flitted about 10 centimeters above its surface. The wings on her back moved restlessly, but it didn't look like they were what made her float. She was a mysterious creature, to be sure. Yeah, I know. The weekly exchange of letters with the Ree always went like this. I didn't have much free time. I was just sticking faithfully to it because Ree said, "I want to read your replies right away." On the other hand, her letters didn't always arrive right away. When I wrote a letter and put it in the post the next day, it arrives 2 days later. Since it took 4 days for a round trip, there was no reason to hurry. But the bakery she worked at was popular in our hometown, and successful enough that people would come from far away to shop there on weekends. She was still in training, and had to work hard. Barely had time to sleep. Ari would read my letter that arrived in the middle of the week and write her reply on Friday, her only day off. That letter would get to me on Sunday afternoon. The post office was closed that day, so I could take my time writing a reply. Just as Ari said in her letter, this routine had been going on for almost 3 years. Yeah, you don't know anything. Yeah. I finished writing the letter quickly, put it in an envelope, and sealed it. Then I finally turned back to Forney. Are you finally done? Yeah. Well, I suppose it can't be helped. It is a letter to your girlfriend. Forney said this as if half fed up, then started fluttering her wings gently in excitement. I pulled the Fortel out of the case I carried around at school and set it up in the corner. If you would, please? Forney reached out to me and asked me, as she always did. Just as she asked, I let Forney onto the palm of my hand and put her on top of the Fortel. Forney's wings didn't work so well, so she was unable to fly any higher than her current position. Apparently she could glide from high to low for a long distance, but getting anywhere far at the same height was impossible. Now then. Then I brought the chair over to the Fortel and tried lightly striking a chord. Almost everyone living in my apartment building was a student at the music school like me. There was a mutual understanding, so I could play without worrying too much, even at night. Shall we begin? Forney moved her wings lightly while doing her vocal exercises, and turned to look at me. I lightly tensed my fingers touching the Fortel, and gathered my concentration for the opening notes. Magic. It's required to play this instrument, and while there are differences in strength, it's a power said to have been held by many people long ago. That power suddenly disappeared, instead replaced by an equally mysterious power called electricity spreading through the world. The Fortel is a glimmer of evidence that magic existed in the past. So, same song as always? Yeah. I pictured the notes. Then I myself became one of the notes making up the chords. I existed inside the music. I like the idea of electricity being considered some sort of weird-ass magic. Also, the idea of post office doing mail on the weekends, unheard of. That's the real magic here. They may be closed on Sundays, but the fact that it's getting delivered at all, that's impressive. Never before seen mail results. So, from what I understand, this is a pretty full-length visual novel. I guess it's kind of short, actually. I mean, you have some, like, there's 100-hour visual novels out there. I think this one clocks in around 30 to 40, because there's 5 or 6 routes. I don't remember. Depends on whatever achievements there are. But yeah, there's like supposed to be 5 or 6 routes, and apparently each one's like 8-ish hours, 6 to 8-ish hours. So, I mean, technically speaking, I could do a stream per route, but we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna play this for a few hours, and then we'll switch to Osu. I think that'll be a good way to split it up. But we'll see how it goes. Don't know, can't promise how much actual song playing there will be per stream, of course, but I'll do my best. It's definitely going to be a more relaxed stream. Probably nowhere near as intense as Doki Doki was, that's for sure. But it's a very different kind of game than that. Hopefully this will go better than fucking Before the Echo. That was a mess, even I have to admit. I'm trying to remember when this game actually came out. Like, it came out in 2017 on Steam, but the original I think is like 10-ish years older than that. I think it came out in like the mid-2000s. I mean, you can kind of tell by the like art style and the UI and everything how much older it is. There's like a thing with like Japanese games like this, you can just kind of tell when it came out just based on the way it looks. And this one definitely screams like 2006, maybe 7. So it's impressive it got translated at all, really, if it's that old. Also, fun fact, apparently the original version of this game had a song editor. You could install custom songs for the rhythm game, which is pretty neat, but I mean, that's not a big deal. We have many ways to play rhythm games these days. I got an achievement for clicking through the prologue, I guess. Impressive. We're already off to a great start. Do I need to click, or are we good? Oh, we're good. Final note faded out and the room was enveloped in silence. Holding our breath, neither one of us moved for a while, but that silence was soon drowned out by the sound of rain. That felt good. Leaning on the music stand, Forney sighed lazily with her eyes closed. As she sang, she also became a part of the music. When I first met Forney, she called herself the musical fairy, and I knew better than anyone that wasn't a lie. I don't actually remember it very well. I had just moved to this apartment and was pretty busy. She simply explained that she was a musical fairy that lived here and we just kinda ended up together. At first I thought I was hallucinating, but she was real alright. But when Forney saw my foretell and said the words, "Let's perform an ensemble," it didn't matter anymore. That's how amazing her voice was, and it still hasn't changed. The one unfortunate thing was that I was the only person who could see or hear her. Her voice was angelic. I know that sounds trite, but I don't know any other ways to describe her voice. Anyway, Forney opened her eyes as if shaking off the last of the reverberations. It is a VN, you're right. But it's also technically a rhythm game, so it's acceptable for rhythm game night. Expect to see this for like the next 3 months, probably. I was also deep in my thought, but came back to my senses and took my fingers off the keys of the foretell. Okay, I think I'll go to bed. Oh, is it that time already? Time passed quickly when I played together with Forney. Must have been because I was concentrating so hard, but when I snapped out of it, I felt tired. So I didn't do ensembles with Forney every day. It was always on Sundays. I'd finish reading Marie's letter, write a reply, and Forney would always say the same thing. Hurry up and let's do an ensemble. Don't forget to send that letter, okay? Yeah, I know. Her tiny body and childish mouth. Despite how she looked, Forney always tried to mother me. I won't say it suited her, but she was pretty adorable and it was never unpleasant when she talked to me like that. That might be why she reminded me a bit of Marie's little sister, my other childhood friend, Torta. Good. Now then, good night. Yeah, night. I haven't got used to Forney disappearing like that. She really was a strange creature, but somewhere in my heart was the desire to accept her for what she was. Thanks to her, I never felt lonely or isolated since I arrived in this town. Good night. There was a soft sound of flowing water. The sound of rain hitting the gutter. Gutter? The light that reached me through the thin clouds was always a little subdued. I made to get up and turn on the light, but the shadow next to the desk stopped me. Hi. Morning. I always say this, but you look like a child when you sleep. Doesn't everyone look like a child when they sleep? How should I know? The only sleeping face I've ever seen is yours. Anyway, if you would. She said this with evident satisfaction and fluttered her wings a few times, as if she was bored with talking. I picked Forney up and moved her to her favorite spot by the window. Forney sat there, swinging her legs as if she was bored. What time is it? A little after 9. I was going to play a prank on you if you didn't wake up. Too bad. Picked up the clock off the table and turned off the alarm. Maybe it's because I'm dreading what Forney will say or do, but I always wake up before the alarm goes off. I always got plenty of sleep. Turned down the alarm just to be absolutely sure. Well, I guess I'll get dressed. Oh, right. Don't forget the letter. I put it in my bag yesterday. Forney nodded with satisfaction and looked back to the rain to signify that she had finished talking. What? Rain again today? Same as always. It's nice weather. Same as always. I got dressed quickly and headed for the door. I wasn't in the habit of eating breakfast myself, and Forney didn't eat, period. So once I washed my face and got dressed, I was ready to leave. First thing I heard when I got outside was the rain hitting the cobblestone street. It wasn't a loud noise, but it was ingrained deep in my eardrums, stirring itself like dirt that wouldn't go away. The City of Rain. People new to the city always think first of those words. There was certainly a time when people called it that, and the origin of the city's name comes from there as well. But nowadays, it was the City of Music. That fact was recognized by the people living here, and they were proud of it. The lines of shops were part of the legacy as well. I could escape the rain under their roofs and shake off the droplets, covering me. I shook my head lightly and brushed the droplets off my clothes. I'd gotten used to the city enough to be able to do this casually. The rain fell year-round, and probably because the residents were so used to it, nobody used an umbrella. That's pretty hardcore. It took a week for my letter to reach her, and for her to send me words of meaning in return. I found myself imagining how I would spend that time. I was too used to this time. I was too used to this city. But I couldn't get rid of a strange feeling. But this wasn't where I belonged. It was a strange feeling. I thought if Forney, Torta, and the letters from Marie weren't there, maybe time would stop. Sounds foolish, I know. Excuse me. The voice of the stranger passed me from behind, took me out of my Riviera, and I turned around. I'd like to mail a letter if that's all right. Oh, right. I'm sorry. Thanks. He thanked me, put his letter in the mailbox, and walked away. How long had I been lost in thought? Torta and Forney had often told me it was a habit of mine to suddenly zone out. Couldn't get too wet and catch a cold. I decided not to think anymore and started walking unhurriedly down the road to the school. I arrived on campus a little after 10 o'clock. I still had 20 minutes before my private lesson, so I moved leisurely to the first hall. There weren't many students who came to school at this time, but a few did. You wouldn't see any first or second year students who had classes in the morning, but when you became a third year, most of your lessons were private lessons, and your morning started later. Lessons began in the morning, but students quickly took up all the afternoon classes, so morning classes were mostly open. However, if you went with the second round of classes that started at 10:30, it wasn't too hard to wake up in the morning. I didn't like crowds, so I was happy to have a morning lesson. Beyond the hallways of lecture rooms, it took several minutes to walk to the classrooms for private lessons. As might be expected from one of the best music schools in the country, it was on a fairly grand scale. Breathing the crisp and slightly humid morning air, I headed towards my classroom. With the language studies, vocal lessons, and the general studies that first years had to take, I could sense quite a few people near the lecture rooms. But all the private lesson rooms were soundproofed, so it was really quiet. After lunch was when things were liveliest. But I liked the morning air. The layers of compressed air seemed to press against my eardrums, and I felt the subtle, faraway sound of the rain on my skin. Excuse me. Found out about a Chrome extension that plays the Wii Shop theme when you visit shopping. That's amazing. Do you have a link to that? I might have to install that. I don't use Chrome a lot, but it could be kind of fun. That sounds great. Like, can you add sites to it as well manually, or awesome? Okay, let me get this link. Can you add sites to it, or is it like just pre-programmed? Holy shit. I'm gonna have to download this. There's one that plays the Me channel theme. I don't know where, but apparently just plays the Me channel theme. Both of these are great. I'll have to install those. Such a good idea. I wonder if there's equivalents for Firefox. I wonder what kind of fun plugins like that for Firefox might exist, because I honestly haven't found too many, but I also haven't looked for too many in the past. I arrived 15 minutes before the allotted time of 10:30, and it looked like Mrs. Cordell wasn't there yet. She always came 10 minutes before the lesson, so I often arrived before her. Okay then. I pulled out a chair, got the Fortel out of its case, and began setting it up. There was already a Fortel set up, but I preferred my own. I focused on my fingers and lightly played a sound. I played the Fortel like that for a few minutes, then heard the door behind me. Good morning. Good morning. I turned around and returned her greeting. Don't mind me. Continue. Actually, I've already finished. I see. You're a little early today, aren't you? Miss Cordell looked at the clock on the wall and looked to me for confirmation. Yes, well... We need to talk. Do you have someone in mind? You mean a partner? Yes, I'm sure you have someone in mind, right? Yes, about that. You'll need time to practice together, so there isn't much time left. Oh, you found a Firefox? Oh, fuck yeah. Everything's getting this. What? No? How did I drag a URL into OBS when I didn't drag shit? This is amazing. Awesome, that's a good find. Oh, you can even edit it? That's sick. Okay, cool. Just in case, like, I mean, I'd probably keep it to shopping sites, but just in case it's missing something obvious. Oh, whoops. Fix this quickly. There we go. That's better. It takes like 5 seconds to Alt-Tab. You'll need time to practice together, so there isn't much time left. There's still a few months left. There's only 2 months left. That's less than a few. Oh, is it that soon? I know you aren't good at keeping track of such things, but come on now. If you know that, why did you even bother asking? It's my job. So are you looking? Yes, I suppose You're lying. Jumping to conclusions like that was just like Miss Cordell. Why do you say that? I like to think I know you a little. Then, don't ask. so I hit the mark. Saying this, she smiled slightly and mussed up my hair. I liked it when Miss Cordell did this from time to time. When it came to music, she showed no compromise and treated students strictly. But that wasn't all there was to her. Many students thought she was just a strict teacher, though. In truth, even I thought that until I had private lessons with her. Yeah, you hit the mark. Well, there aren't many that can work with your music. You're not very compromising. Yeah, that's the problem. Is she, like, wearing, like, half a pair of glasses? Like, it's not even a monocle. It's like the right side of the glasses are just completely chopped off. The fuck? It took me a sec, like, I was trying to figure out if it was just the art style or not, but I'm pretty sure that's not the way it's drawn there. Pretty sure it's on purpose. I just laughed it off to escape the moment. I had a feeling the professor was overestimating me. Among the many teachers at the school, Miss Cordell had the most faith in my abilities, but I didn't really see it in myself. The fortel is an instrument that requires magic, and its tone depends heavily on the one playing it. It's not like a piano or cembalo that can be played simply by pressing the keys. Of course, the strength of touch and manipulation of the pedals change the sound, but that can't be compared to the individual differences of the fortel. You could say that the difference in sound is comparatively close to a wind instrument, but it seems closest to the human voice. And the sounds that I played were held in high regard by Miss Cordell. It's based a lot on intuition. It's not something you're really aware of when playing. I thought I was just normal, but she was telling me I was wrong. Chris, are you listening? Huh? Oh, sorry. I like your honesty, but you lose points for not listening to me during class. Sorry. Okay, for now, let's begin the lesson. Yes, ma'am. I answered her and took the sheet music out of my bag to set it on the stand. Miss Cordell peeked at it over my shoulder. Same song as always? Yes, it'll depend on my partner, but for now this is really the only one in consideration. Fine then. Play it from the beginning for now. Okay then? Begin. We finally get a tutorial on how we're doing this shit. All I know, this is apparently like a 12-key game? Or something like that? Like, it uses a lot of the keys on all 3 rows from, like, screenshots I've seen. So, it is important to play well, because it does actually affect your choices. Not sure in what regard, but there might be a reason I might want to play that poorly at some point, perhaps, if we want to go for a poor ending. I'm just gonna let it go with the flow, see how I play. Doesn't seem too bad. I was worried about, like, having to press keys on the same row, because, you know, my keyboard can't really do that. But so far, this seems kind of fine. I like that everything is color-coded as well. Definitely helps. Actually kind of reminds me of my typing practice games from like when I was like 8. Although they weren't very musically inclined. Oops. I think I hit a wrong button there. I'm hoping I don't have to like play these songs perfectly at any point, because that would be hard. Now, of course, I did set it to the hardest difficulty for these parts, because I could, but you just have to go in the options to change it, so we'll see. I don't know what the max score is on that. It's probably a little over 10,000. That feels different than like a lot of vertical scrolling rhythm games. I don't know, that was at least like what? That was definitely 8 or so keys at least. I don't know how many I'm going to be needing to press at once. I think I saw at least like 3 note chords at one point in the trailer, so. Finished the song and turned around to receive her feedback. Doing very well. There's nothing to worry about there. Yeah, I guess so. But don't get cocky. Still haven't decided on a partner. So we're back to this again. If you can't find a partner, you can't graduate. I'd step in before I came to that, though. Could I ask what stepping in means, perchance? Perchance? She said this with an utterly disgusted look, and then composed herself as in resignation. I'd find a suitable voice student and decide for you. Can't let a skilled student not graduate. Is that so? You seem rather indifferent. Do you want to graduate? Sometimes I wonder that myself. What about Tornitina? You know her. Wouldn't she be perfect? I'll keep that in mind while I think it over. For now I need to practice. Alright, there aren't many, but you do have some faults. Work on those. Yes, ma'am. Now, practice scales from F. One more time. Oh, we're already doing another. Okay, there's more to rhythm. Oh, no, we're not. Fuck. I got excited for a sec. Not gonna lie. Even after Miss Cordell left, I remained in the classroom to calm down after the excitement of playing. Then I remembered the repeated advice and thought about the future. It's not like I wasn't looking for a partner. I just wasn't very interested in it. I knew I didn't have that much time to spare, so I just couldn't work seriously at it. Yova's Communal School of Music. Communal School of Music was named after the city. It boasted world-renowned facilities, and many famous musicians called it their alma mater. Alma mater? I don't remember how to pronounce that. But the traditions behind it, both entering and graduating, were said to be difficult. Being one of the few capable Fortel students, it was easy for me to get in. And that is probably why I've had such a hard time of it. And of course, I was given an appropriate task in order to graduate from the school. A graduation performance held in the school's concert hall. The graduation performance is judged by alumni and active musicians gathered from around the country. Some students stayed on at the school after failing their performance, but most inevitably quit on their own. On the other hand, there were those who did so well that they were instantly guaranteed success as professional musicians. The standards for graduation have always been high. Regardless, Miss Cordell said that I had a good chance of graduating. I had it drummed into me that it was all about graduating. There were 2 rules for a Fortel performance, and no matter how skilled you were, you couldn't pass if you didn't fulfill those terms. First, the song performed had to be an original. I already had one, so there's no problem there. The next was the problem. The song had to be performed with a vocalist. Normally, a third-year voice student would be chosen as a partner. As vocalists also needed to perform to graduate, but the rule stated that the partner didn't need to be a voice student. That meant that it could be anyone, even someone outside of the school. That being said, pairing with someone not used to singing in front of an audience was like asking to fail, so I'd never heard of anyone pairing with anyone other than the student of a school. Well, it wasn't like I didn't have someone in mind, but there were things that made me hesitate to pair with her. The reason? I didn't really even know myself. I did appreciate her voice, and I'd known her since we were kids. We were still close. So why? I asked myself, but I never came up with an answer. The chimes ringing to signal noon brought me back to my senses. I hadn't made plans with her, but I went to the cafeteria to meet my childhood friend. She was a partner candidate, after all. Unlike how it was in the morning, a few students were out in the hallways chatting. I slid past them and went outside. In the building I had just left, the first hall, there were classrooms, lecture rooms, and offices for the professors and staff. And in the second hall I was heading to, there were many individual practice rooms, even smaller than the classrooms. It also contained the cafeteria and the library, facilities not directly related to classes. I passed a concert hall that stood between those 2 buildings, and hurried under its roof to avoid the rain. Being lunchtime, there were many students already gathered in the cafeteria. It was big enough to cater for 100 people at a time, and it was half full. I put my bag down on a seat near a window I liked. After ordering some risotto, I took and sat down in a chair. Hi! As I was staring into the contents of the bowl with a spoon, I heard a familiar voice from behind. Oh, hi. Torta sat down next to me, moving my bag over a space. Huh? This. Must have fallen out when she moved my bag. Torta was waving the sheet music that I had been using in front of me. What are you doing with that sheet music? Is this the song for your presentation? For now. You have the whole song? For now. The habit of saying for now is telling me to stop, right? I'm working on it. For now, right? Torta laughed feebly, giving the subject up as a joke. So, can I look? Go ahead, I'll be eating. As I went through the motions of putting the slightly cold risotto in my mouth, I watched her from the corner of my eye. It looked like she was reading the music intently, checking the notes. Just as she finished reading the last page, I finished my lunch. It's a pretty good song. Thanks. You did what you needed to anyway. Did you think I was doing nothing? But you haven't chosen the partner yet, have you? No, I haven't. No matter how good the song is, Miss Cordell just gave me the same talk. Oh, well, she's right. Why both of you all of a sudden? We're into December this week. You only have 2 months left, you know? Wouldn't you say 2 whole months? No, I wouldn't. Whatever. I'm gonna go eat my lunch. Go ahead. As I said this, Torta opened her lunchbox on the table. So, do you have any ideas? That may be the case. So you don't. Don't jump to conclusions. Doesn't take a genius. No, it's not that I don't have any ideas. Cheeks stuffed with sandwich, Torta replied with a slightly surprised look on her face. Aw, Cass. Don't talk with your mouth full. Of course. It's someone other than me, right? Yeah. Huh? There really is someone else? You seem really surprised. Who, by the way? Do I know this person? Oh, no. There's just some voice to it that Miss Cordell said she could ask. In the end, I was leaving it to my teacher and not doing anything myself. Got ready to be taken to task, and I searched for the words to explain. Torta laughed. Wow, so you are working on it. Kind of. What? Oh boy. Can we save here before I make choices? It's very important. Excellent. Thank you. Good. We make saves. Every choice you make a save. That's how you do visual novels. Should we explain it or not? This is already better than Doki Doki. But I think that was kind of part of the joke. And that you didn't have a choice. One of the few genres where choice actually can matter. And usually does. I think we should explain it. I mean, she's our friend after all. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Jack. I said I had an idea, but the truth is, it isn't decided yet. If it comes to it, Miss Cordell will ask a voice student. Huh? Oh. I see. What, did you think I was going to say? Nothing. Yeah, right. I didn't believe the rumor would apply to you, Chris. I didn't think you'd cheat on Eri. I'm kidding, of course. Whatever. I passed it off lightly to avoid any more questions. Nothing. Whatever. I like that about you, Chris. Like what? That you're a little irresponsible. What? That's not a good thing. That's not true. Whatever. But... what? You should probably fix that irresponsible side. What's this all about? You don't need to know. So, what were we talking about? The rumor, I think? Rumor? Which one? That's what I'm asking. You're the one talking about believing rumors and cheating, aren't you, Torta? Oh, that rumor. Yeah, so what is it? It's the same old stuff. I think it was that the men and women who performed together at the graduation presentation end up together forever. Or something. Yeah, that's something you'd hear at any school. Right. You don't seem very interested, Torta. Yeah, I mean, people whose tastes match tend to match as people too. They practice long hours together and they like so many of the same things. They have similar goals as well. Yeah, right. Torta nodded as she totally understood and gave a faint smile. Of course, you're not interested. I haven't even decided on my partner yet. And yet you go on with such confidence. Go on? About the psychology of men and women in love. Even though you said more than half of it. You were right there with me, Chris. Doesn't suit you. Who doesn't it suit? At least I have a girlfriend. My big sister doesn't count. You just ended up with her because you were friends. You want to talk. You've never even been in a relationship. Big words from someone who thinks they know all there is to know. We argued as far as that. Then we looked at each other and laughed lightly. Torta and Ari, my two childhood friends. I can still remember every detail of growing up so close to them. A boy and twin girls born in the same year and living close by to boot. We naturally lived like we were family. The boy happened to have his talent for playing the fortel, and the younger of the twins was a gifted singer. But the older sister didn't do anything special. So both sets of parents thought that the younger sister was more suited to the boy. But at some point, the boy got together with the older sister, and this was accepted as natural, if only among the children. The talented twosome went on to the city of music to realize their dreams, while the one left behind pursued her own dream in their hometown. The lovers were bound together by weekly letters, the only way to stay connected over the unbearable distance. The relationship was hampered by the fact that one was by the sea and the other surrounded by mountains. You couldn't go anywhere without passing through a long tunnel carved through the mountains. Even to get to the closest city, it was necessary to ride a steam train for half a day. This was the magnitude of the gap between the two of them. I lost in thought again. Oh, sorry. No, it's fine. Anyway. You have to find a partner soon, okay? I know. Well, I will. Really? Really? Miss Cordell's on my case too. What about you, Torta? Me? Do you have a partner already? But you said... I think it would be best if you didn't say any more. Okay? Huh? What do you mean? Boy students can perform solo. Well, the marks are better when paired with a fortel player, so there are quite a few people working on that assumption. But are you going to perform solo, Torta? It'll be easier. Oh, I see. And... I knew what she would say next a moment before she said it. That's how close Torta and I were now. If a certain someone really can't find a partner, it would be better if there was at least one candidate, right? Thanks. That doesn't mean you don't need to look. I know. We were almost closer than lovers. That was why I thought it'd be better to put some distance, even forced, between us. But, unconsciously trying to find a reason to avoid Torta, I continued in a light tone to counter the uneasy tension between us. Don't you think it's unfair that vocalists are free to choose like that? No, I don't. I mean, just being able to play the fortel gets students special treatment at the school. I didn't ask for that. There may be special treatment, but I still work hard. I can't help that I was born this way, right? Being born like that is important in this case. Only for the rarity. I think it's amazing you're not trying to be humble, Chris. You really feel that way. What a compliment. Maybe it wasn't. Which is it? Why don't you choose? Okay, then it wasn't a compliment. Fine then. How very like you to focus on the negative. I feel too comfortable with this all too familiar interaction. I have to heave a deep sigh in order to guard against it. I wonder why fortel students have to pair with voice students? Because a human voice pairs best with the fortel. I feel like I've heard that before. What do you mean? Don't you remember learning it in class? Did I? Your first year, the fortel history lecture. Is it possible I didn't take that class? Nope. Okay, I'll ask. What is your major? Foretell. Sorry. Oh boy, must be nice to make one's way in life with just a natural ability. Hey, you're making fun of all the Foretell students. No, I was only talking about you, Chris. So bad at taking notes, but you always get high marks when you're playing. Yeah. Listen. Really listen, okay? The sound of a Foretell is made good or bad depending on the nature of the individual. You could call it individuality. Just as each person has a different voice, the tone of the Foretell changes depending on the person. And it has the capacity to be changed by thoughts and emotions. It can be filled with a richer range of emotions than other instruments, so it pairs well with vocals, which can express the same emotional richness according to the verse. Understand? I understand. Basically understand what you're saying, Torta. Alright, good. But I don't think that's a good reason for a Foretell to pair with a voice student. Voice students can perform solo. Isn't that unfair? Huh? Oh, that's what you mean. You explained it for me, but missed the point. And you're making fun of me. Well, of course I made fun of you. Huh? Why? Think about it. It's because there's so few Foretell students. There's twice as many voice students, right? That's true. Do you understand? Yes. So now you really get it. Yeah, I understand. I'll really look. Good. Oh, I can help you look if you want. I can introduce you to some people. Just like me, Torta was finished with her morning lesson. We always just parted ways after eating together here. Oh boy, more choices. We could, like, speed run this right now and just ask her. Straight up. Or we could go actually look, like she told us to. I feel like this is the cop-out route if we end up going with this one, but what do you think? Ask? Just go straight up? Alright, we're doing it. Let's see if she says yes. It really was a welcome offer. I think I'll take you up on that. Unless she just meant ask about meeting people, but we'll see. Still, we're speedrunning something, we don't have to go look. Right, but you have some leads, right? I know that you have none, Chris. Just stick with me. Yeah, okay. First. Right. She led me out of the cafeteria to the hallway lined with practice rooms. Practice rooms along the hallway looked busy at this hour. There were almost no practice rooms with open doors. It wasn't rare for all the practice rooms to be full at this time on a Monday. It seemed that everyone believed that the famous saying by some unknown music professor, "Neglect your instrument for 1 day, lose 3 days of skill." Of course, there were no school on weekends, but hardly any student spends their 2 days off without practicing. That's how serious everyone was about music, but unfortunately, that had nothing to do with me. So, serious students spend their Saturdays and Sundays with no classes working away in their practice rooms from the morning on. It was common for the practice rooms to be full up. Students like Torta and myself who could practice at home were better off. You couldn't sing at the top of your lungs, but it was considered part of the city's character and generally accepted. And there were certain instruments that could be muted, but nothing could be done in that regard for the piano, which featured the largest number of students, or for string instruments, which meant that students who couldn't practice at home or at school would flock to the practice rooms. Even Torta spent her days off practicing, unlike me. I was always in awe of the effort she put into practice. However, the fact that I can't follow her example, maybe it's a difference in personality. What are we doing here? Oh, I want to ask someone I know. Ask them? How? Torta peeked into the small window of a practice room as if she wasn't listening to me. Oops, not someone I know. Next. Maybe here. Ah, here we are. Wait a sec. A male student came out after a bit, perhaps having noticed the noise. Well, Tordentina. Hello. She was being pretty forceful, but the student didn't seem to mind. In fact, he looked a little happy. So, what'd you want? About that... Torta turned to me with a smile and started to introduce me. I knew I needed to introduce myself at that point, but I just couldn't get up the spirit and instead merely nodded my head slightly to him. Chris? Afternoon. Anyway... I'm sorry this is so sudden. No, I should apologize. Chris... Sorry. Of course the student would turn me down. I knew though that more than half the responsibility lay with my attitude. I just apologized before Torta said anything. Are you doing this on purpose? It's not on purpose. It wasn't difficult to imagine what you thought of me, not even introducing myself properly and seeing the disinterested look on my face. Of course I knew I was the one asking, but I didn't feel like it was what I wanted. The fact was, I didn't feel good about it. Man, you're so unsociable. That's why you have no friends, you know? Yeah, you're right. Of course I didn't deny it. Including Torta, I could count my friends on one hand. I didn't think to be more friendly. I wasn't dissatisfied with the situation. We'll move on, but be more friendly next time, okay? No, wait a minute. What's up? Isn't there some other way to do this? We're just asking out of the blue while they're practicing. But he was happy to talk to us. If we weren't such a stick in the mud, I think he would have said yes. No. No way. That may actually have been true. More than half the fault was my attitude. I think the rest could be attributed to the fact I'm not the type that people like much. It wasn't just him. It was simply that the school was not accepting of students like me. Most of the students at the school were ambitious, always thinking about being successful at music. And that is the direction most of the teachers pushed you toward. There were only two kinds of students that didn't fit the mold. Those that had fallen off the rails, and those who didn't need to worry because of their exceptional abilities. The former were looked down upon, while the latter were envied. I thought I was the former, but I tended to be regarded as the latter because of my ability to play to foretell, and play it well. And it would be okay if it was just most students being jealous. But within that jealousy was also a sense of awe. I, however, was trying to prove that, wasn't trying to use that to my advantage. I'd already been told by Miss Cordella and Torta that people thought I was difficult to get along with. In short, I had no interest in getting along with people. But as unsuitable as I was for the school, I didn't think that the school was unsuitable for me. Well, suppose you could say it can't be helped. Yeah, it's as you say, Torta. Why was Torta so intent on carrying out this exercise in futility, knowing me as well as she did? But let's look a little more. Having no prospects just won't do. At least not this way we have a slight chance of finding someone. So she already knew. This was just for me. Okay. Yeah, now where's Smile? That's not happening. If no motivation. Yes, I do. For now, right? Yeah, no good. Good work. It's like you think it's someone else's job. Torta sat up from laying across the cafeteria table and pulled a cup close to herself. Should be okay by now. Not yet, it's hot. What? It's fine. That's hot! See, I told you so. Oh, you're making me uncomfortable just watching you. It's not exactly cold here. I like it, so leave me alone. You know you're bad with hot food and drink. Whatever. The drink must have cooled down as Torta brought it to her mouth again happily. Oh, that's good. You've liked that for forever. Torta was happily drinking her drink of heated chocolate. Heated chocolate. Never heard it called that before, but alright. That's really all Cicolata was. The Cicolata Calda was. Maybe you couldn't even call it a drink. You did drink it, of course, but mostly the thick chocolate was eaten with a spoon. Oh, I guess it's not quite hot chocolate then. Sweet and very filling, so I could never drink all of it. It's warm and sweet. It's the best. Maybe winter, but I'm not cold at all. As I spoke the words, I was reminded of my hometown, just like when I was reading one of Arie's letters. The country was split in two by mountains. We were born in the north, and now we were living in the south. The climate was very different. It was warm here, even in the winter. I like it, so leave me alone. Mixing her chocolate with a spoon, Torta showed no signs of losing her smile. Fine, but don't complain about it being hot anymore, okay? I didn't complain that much. Yeah. Fine then. Well, it would be easier to get this talk over with while she was happy. I spoke to Torta again, to talk about the day and to apologize. Thanks for today. Sure, thanks for the chocolate. Torta tilted her cup, obviously enjoying the last drop. Are you okay with just that? I mean, it helps that it's so cheap. I like it. We didn't end up finding anyone anyway. I thought this is how it would turn out. That's mean. So you're saying my idea was a bad one? Not at all. Truth was, I didn't think it was such a great idea. But I was wondering, why did you ask only male students? It was probably a little intrusive of me to worry about Torta like that. But I couldn't help noticing. I thought it would be easier to ask mainly friends for this kind of thing. I mean, if it's just that you have a lot of guy friends, that's okay. I said it nonchalantly, but if that were actually the case, I would actually not be okay with that. Torta put down the cup she had just finished drinking from and faced me. Why would you ask something like that? It was just a thought I had. One more thing. The last male student she asked didn't even know Torta's name. I knew we needed a vocalist, just as Torta explained, but at least one of the students she asked never even met before. Could it be jealousy? Right. You admit it. Maybe about a third of it is as you say, Torta. That's oddly specific. Is it not half? I'm worried about your relationships as a friend, and jealous as your childhood friend. That's two. What's the other one? You didn't know that last student, did you, Torta? Oh, no. I thought I recognized him from a lecture during my first year or something. Could it be you don't have any girlfriends? What? At first, Torta didn't seem to understand what I meant by that fairly rude question. But with time, she slowly came to understand. Of course I do. Chris. Well, you're not like me, so I'm sure that's true. Don't say that about yourself. You were going to say it, weren't you, Torta? Still. Yeah. So, was there some reason? They just weren't in the practice rooms? Listen, I can't pair you up with a girl, okay, Chris? Why not? The rumor. The one we talked about over lunch? You don't believe that, do you? No, I don't believe it. So why? Jealousy is about 1/10 of it. That's not very much. That's just as your childhood friend. So, what about the rest? There are things you don't believe, but are afraid of, right? Not that I can think of. Really? Do you believe in God, Chris? Where's this going? Where did that come from? Just answer. Where the fuck could this possibly be going? Say no? Alright, yeah. That would be the answer I'd go for too. Nah, fuck God. I don't think I believe in the true sense of the word, but what's wrong with that? Right. You don't think that most wouldn't do bad things like vandalizing the church walls? Don't you think that most wouldn't do things like vandalizing the church walls? That's probably true. Even though I don't believe it, I don't want you connected with the rumor. It was a bit of a stretch for that to fill the remaining 9/10. I thought about why she didn't want me connected with the rumor, but I stopped myself. Well, I suppose I understand. Yeah, atheism 100. Dude, what if we did believe in God? Does this end with us, like, dying and meeting him or some shit? What if it did? Go to music heaven. I thought you would. Even so, God? Oh, but it's not like I don't believe at all, you know? Yeah, I'm the same. That's why I pray at church. Oh, I guess it's more like atheism 70. Yeah, but you said you didn't believe in the true sense, right? If religious guidance helps us become better people, then you can't say that God doesn't exist and intervene in people's lives. What's that about? Did you read that in a book or something? No, I heard someone say it. Yeah, they would say that. Imagine our friend who said that, Torta whispered with her eyes slightly lowered. But... If there was a God... If there was? Yeah, I was just thinking that all the bad things in the world would just go away. I expect you to get so deep so suddenly. Yeah, if the Bible has anything to say, that sounds like bullshit. God's an asshole. Don't you think so, Chris? It's not that I disagree with the sentiment, I just think it's very unlikely. I know, I was just thinking it would be nice. That's not like you. Like me? Yeah, I guess not. Seeming to bounce back, Torta stood up and grabbed her empty cup. Okay, we should head home. Right. It was raining as always outside the window, and it was dark. I'm home. Oh, look, I'm home. You're late. Did something happen? I heard Forney's reply from inside the room. Hmm? Oh, yeah. Well, I tossed my bag into the room and wiped my hair with a towel by the door. Is it still raining? Same as always. Never gets old, it seems. Sure doesn't. We chatted, looking out the window. Then I stuffed the towel into the laundry basket and finally entered the room. So, why are you so late? I was with Torta, looking for a partner. Oh, so you didn't find one? All of them were a no-go. Our method of searching wasn't so good. Method of searching? Torta just burst into the practice rooms and said, please be this person's partner. What is that? Just bursting in? She'd knock on the soundproof door and go in after they notice. Just what I said. Which means it was Torta's idea. That's right. So you get it, right? I get it. That's just like Torta. I suppose you could say that. Torta was reliable, but she did have a few faults. Forney had met Torta, though not many times. I talked about Torta so much that Forney's image of her was locked in her head. Bet she did it for you, Chris. So you should be grateful. I am. I didn't know who Torta was to Forney, but it was obvious that she liked her. She seemed to think the same of Ari, who I talked about just as much. So, did anything else happen? Miss Cordell told me to hurry up and find a partner too. That means almost everyone you know told you. Well, I don't know that many people. Hey, is that an excuse? Well, it is the truth, isn't it? You're despicable. You shouldn't be proud of not having many friends. Yeah, you're right. It's like, you're not aware of it. I'm aware of it. I just don't really care. So you're despicably aware. I'm satisfied with that. That may be your problem. Forney made her usual bored face and urged me to continue. Telling Forney what happened during a day like this was already a daily routine. She didn't want to go outside, but always wanted to hear me talk about it. Fairies are mysterious creatures. Even after living with one for almost 3 years, I didn't fully understand them. She could touch things, but didn't get wet in the rain. She didn't eat anything, and could sing and sing without getting tired. She floated, but couldn't fly, and she could appear and disappear at will. Despite defying the laws of physics, she couldn't get up high and was always bugging me for a hand. But leaving a towel by the door after I left in the morning became Forney's job at some point. In short, it was impossible to think about Forney logically. If you could accept her for what she was, it was quite fun. Yeah, there's fairies in this. As one would in your musical dating sim, of course. In ancient times, written about in history books, people lost a part of their civilization called magic. It was replaced by a field called science at some point, which made a fair amount of progress over many long years. But there were still many things not understood in the world. One of those things was a cheerful fairy, skilled at singing. Thinking about the unknown boundaries of the world was a boundless and ultimately futile exercise. That's what I'd come to think now. Then I told Forney about my day, as always. What, you don't have a fairy in your room? There to greet you and sing with you when you play music? Should go get one. Kind of a fruitless day then. Having listened to everything, Forney didn't look bored. In fact, she looked happy. She said things like that, but she enjoyed hearing about the outside. I guess so. Alright, I'll make dinner. What are you having today? Just whatever. I ate whatever I could whip up myself, and the day ended as always. And then, as always, I fell asleep while listening to the rain. I wonder if we... Well, see, the problem with picking her, though, is that apparently only we can see her. So it wouldn't be a very good partner. Because no one else would believe us when we told them that we have a partner. And we show up with an invisible fairy. It's quite unfortunate. Because I'm sure if we could pick her, we'd get, like, A++ instantly. Alright, see you later. Have a good day. I looked up at the somber sky, the droplets of rain falling on my body. And so, another day began. We're not like super early to class today. Now, let's start from the beginning again today. Yes, ma'am. Now, begin. Oh, we actually play again? Or no? Aw. I was hoping, like, class meant actually playing, but that's fine. I was done with morning practice and finished eating lunch. I like how they gave you one, like, taste, one glimpse, and it's like, nah, you gotta wait now. I'd have to look for a partner again today. As I was thinking about that, Torta spoke to me in the middle of eating her packed lunch. So, what are you going to do today? Oh, same as yesterday. You're still giving those half-hearted replies. That's why you can't find anyone. I know that. Shall I go with you again today? No, that's alright. Anyway, today's Tuesday. It is, but I'm worried about you, Chris. Torta always went home early on Tuesdays and Thursdays, saying she had plans. I don't know what she did, but it's not like I told Torta what I did every day, and I didn't ask her either. Reason being that I was afraid of interfering any more in Torta's business. I realized it suddenly yesterday. I was probably not wrong. That's why I was still choosing my words carefully, so as not to delve too deep. I'm fine. I can't keep troubling you, Torta. Well, alright then. Saying this, Torta wolfed down her remaining sandwich and quickly left. I watched her leave and thought about what to do. Now then, what to do? Oh, we actually get choices on where we can go. We can go to class. We can go to the Zenacolo? Practice rooms? I don't know what that is. We're supposed to be in like Italy, kind of. So, brush up on your Italian, I guess. And the old wing. She wolfed it down. Just one bite. Huge sub sandwich, gone instantly. Where should we go? We're supposed to be looking for partners, I guess, so I'm not sure where we should look. Why does a music school need a soccer field? Like, tennis courts, I can kind of see, you know, something leisurely to do besides music. But a fucking soccer field? Like, how often does this get used? You know, this is fine because it's, like, small. You only need, like, a couple people to really take advantage of them. But a soccer field, you're gonna need, like, a whole bunch of people. Doesn't seem like the kind of school that would have a sports team. No, that sandwich didn't shrink. She just shoved it way in there, like fucking deep-throated that thing. That's what she did. I'm curious to see what this place is. I don't know what this is. This looks like another music room. The practice rooms didn't go so well last time. Just go back to class. Could do that. I'm gonna go here. It seems interesting. This is definitely gonna be more complicated than I thought it would be. Let's go exploring. Is that my fucking Discord not having no stream modes on Discord? I thought I heard Discord. Aimlessly, I peeked into lecture halls where classes had finished and practice rooms with their doors open. I knew some of the faces of the passing students. That's when I felt my social ineptitude, knowing nothing more about any of these people beyond perhaps recognizing their faces. That's like literally me. All I managed was to meet the gaze of one student, nod slightly, and pass on by. Despite making up my mind to stop searching for the day, I still found myself walking in the rain. Of course, I didn't like getting wet in the rain, but the chill of the droplets that wet my skin The distorted view when the rain got in my eyes. Somehow I couldn't bring myself to fully hate the experience. I didn't feel like just leaving the school. Before I knew it, I was in a place I didn't recognize. You have an update on the badge quest? How many shinies have you gotten now? Or how far in are you? With the noise of the school far away, a tranquil atmosphere enveloped the place. Off the tree-lined path that connected the gate and school buildings down a narrow path thickly covered with trees was the old wing. Is this place haunted? Are we gonna find, like, musical ghosts? Is this the Prism River backstory? The many musicians who graduated from Piova Communal School of Music increased the prestige of its name over time. The number of students increased accordingly, and as facilities were expanded, the original building became cramped and obsolete. So with the help of the government and many aristocrats, the current first and second halls and the concert hall were built. The government assisted to help the country's rich culture permeate into the rest of the world. The aristocrats must feel some pride in that culture as well. Now there are many children of aristocrats among the students. And the original school building wasn't demolished, but left as a free space for the students to use. It was regularly cleaned and the pianos were kept in tune by practicing students, but in the end it was no longer functioning as a school building. In fact, I wish I hadn't been here since I'd just come for fun with Asino shortly after entering the school. I heard from Asino that the aristocratic students in particular never came here. I had no reason to come since then, and that's all I knew about it. Wow. I was a little curious about the building I hadn't seen in so long. I looked around a little. Wait, you got a second shiny? What makes you sure it shouldn't count? Did you trade for it? Tried to play Untitled Story, did not work? What? Yeah, it sounds like a difficult to install game. How did it not work? You have a Windows machine, right? Or, no, do you? Because it only works on Windows. It definitely won't work with anything else. Yeah, that's weird. Like, did it not boot? You could try... Wait, which Windows do you have? I'm guessing Windows 10. What you could try doing, if you have administrator access, run the program as admin, and possibly run it as in compatibility mode for Windows XP. Would probably be the first things I could think of. Every time you press a key, it would say, ah? That sounds like a different problem. It does use MIDI, it uses your MIDI wave, like built-in MIDI player in Windows. So it's possible you have the wrong sound font. But it also sounds like maybe you have a keyboard problem. I'm not really sure. You might have to, like, if you can record a video of it, I'm kind of curious to see what the hell's going on. I might actually be able to help you later if you want. If you're able to, like, make a clip of your problem and post on Discord or something. That sounds really funny, actually. Pressing a key makes it scream. Untitled Story Scream %. Even though it could be used freely, students didn't normally come to the old wing. It was probably just students writing lyrics or wanting some quiet time who visit occasionally. Oh. And here I was thinking we wouldn't find anyone. Then I vaguely heard a singing voice amidst the sound of rain. There was definitely a student in there singing. It was a trivial thing that I normally would have ignored, but from the sudden interest that had just arisen in me, and the fact I was searching for a partner, I decided to take a peek inside. Oh shit, are we finally making progress? Other than the voice I could hear, the place was silent, so it wasn't hard to find. The voice, along with some light, were spilling from a slightly open door. We found someone, guys. Mission accomplished. She was singing. She threw herself into the song that filled the classroom, unheard by anyone. I wasn't an expert on vocals, but she certainly had a captivating voice. No matter what tomorrow brings. My interest was piqued as she sang without accompaniment, relying only on her voice. My fingers naturally moved as if pressing keys. I imagined the sound of my foretell mixing with her voice. I don't know how to describe it, but I joined a max raid battle from a dude called Dad Shiny, so I'm not sure if it was hacked. Oh. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. You can do online, like, in the field? You can play multiplayer? I didn't know that was a thing in that game. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really familiar with the state of online hacking. Usually people who hack games do it very carefully, unless they're really stupid people. So, yeah, I don't know. I would say I would say count it. I would probably count it, but if you see the guy again and you get another, then I'd probably say, toss it. This anime face makes you frown. The way the face looks kind of makes... What do you mean? This is just default anime face. You're gonna have some problems then if that's the case, because like this is what most of the faces are gonna look like in this game. Her fingers actually moved as if pressing keys, and I imagined the sound of my Fortell mixing with her voice. As she finished the song, almost all of the phrases were in my head. I felt I could play it at any time. The song itself wasn't very complicated, but the simple melody was beautiful and made striking by her voice. The song was probably made for vocals, so the Fortell parts could be subdued. I thought of this as I drew closer to the door, and she quickly turned around just as she was about to start singing again. Who are you? Oh, I'm sorry. She must have been shocked at the sudden appearance of a visitor. She tensed up and didn't move. I didn't mean to intrude. The door was open. I'm sorry. Even after my light apology for peeking, she didn't make any move to answer. I started to feel like I was spying on her. But considering that she was singing where anyone could pass by, and that the door was open from the beginning, I wasn't doing anything that bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really do anything about that, Womp. That's just visual novels, then. You know, some people like anime and some people don't. That's just how it be. Is something wrong? She looked slightly afraid, and she was still gazing at me reproachfully. I started to feel like I really did something wrong. I backed out of the door to leave, and she grabbed her bag and slipped between me and the door as if she was waiting for the opportunity. Excuse me. Whoa! She was running with her head down, so she ran into me as I tried to get away. Textbooks and sheet music spilled from her open bag, and she fell on her bottom next to them. Are you okay? Oh. I didn't think I was in the wrong, but I couldn't say I was completely without fault. I spoke to her, concerned but all the while feeling slightly indignant. Can I help you? But she just looked up at me and didn't speak, and in her eyes tears started welling up. I just heard your voice and came to see. I spoke gently to her, picked up the scattered sheet music and held it out to her. I'll get out of your way now. Here you are. She just stared at the sheet music, but didn't take it. Your sheet music. I placed the music at her feet, thinking to just leave. But I felt like that would be too cold-hearted. Okay, I'll leave it here. I wanted to ask her about her singing, but she was avoiding me so much the conversation wouldn't have gone very far, which meant that it would be best for me to leave without doing anything else. Thank you. She finally took the music I was holding out in her small white hand. That hand was shaking slightly. Don't worry about it. It was my fault for barging in like that. Is she really just surprised? The magic of editing. Man, if I knew how to do like half-decent live editing, I could. I would appease you and give it a shot. But OBS doesn't have that kind of feature. It wouldn't work too well. I put all my editing effort into pre-recorded content. That's where all the real work comes from. That's where all the real magic is. Somehow it seemed like it was more than that. But I didn't think I could press her about it, so not being there anymore would probably be best for her. Your singing was very good. That's my opinion after listening without asking anyway. Okay, I'll be going. As she stood up and brushed the dust off her clothes, I bowed slightly to her and put my hand on the door. I turned around in the direction of her voice behind me. She still had her eyes averted from my face and faltered as she tried to say something. The awkwardness was not going to dissipate by itself, so I urged her on with a gentle voice. Is something wrong? I'm sorry you had to hear that weird song. She said this with averted eyes, like she was making an excuse. Weird? I don't think it was weird at all. I wasn't just being polite before. I meant what I said. I'm sorry. She bowed her head and apologized again, even though there was no reason for her to apologize. What do you mean you're sorry? Then she went silent again. Just what was I supposed to do here? Since she was talking to me, she must have not wanted me to leave right away. There wasn't really any need to talk further, but I was a little concerned by the way she was acting. She didn't look like her at all, but her attitude reminded me of a young Arietta. At that time, Ari was down on herself for being the only one without musical talent. She assumed everything was her fault and was always apologizing. Of course, that was a long time ago. Now Ari had found something to be proud of and no longer felt like that. Regardless, her attitude made it so I couldn't just leave. I knew from the color of her ribbon that she was a first-year student, so I softened my tone slightly and spoke to her again. Why are you practicing in a place like this? What about the practice rooms on the main campus? I don't like crowds. I see. In that case, this place is nice and quiet. It was still clumsy, but she actually answered me normally, so I felt better. You are... sorry. Nothing. An awkward silence pervaded the space between us. It seemed to be a habit for her to apologize. You don't have to apologize so much. Why are you here? Oh, no reason. I was just passing by and heard someone singing. I see. I didn't come here to practice or anything, in case you were wondering. Alright. I said it as a little joke, but it didn't register. I started to wonder if she was even listening to me. You should keep the door closed from now on. Never know when someone like me could be enticed by her voice to come in. I tried to leave after giving her some advice, but then I heard her voice behind me again. Yes, I'll be careful. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. Alright. I almost got angry for a second, but suppressed it. I saw her as Ari, just apologizing and not listening to the kind words of her music teachers. The more I thought of that, the more difficult it became to leave. She might have thought that I was nothing more than some busybody. But if my words could change something, Arietta was able to change after all. I just needed to change the subject. At the very least, I no longer wanted to leave, as long as she didn't make a more obviously unhappy face. So, anyway, are you a voice student? I tried to move on to a safer topic. It was just a social greeting for any student meeting for the first time. Cannot infer age. Well, this is a high school, so she's probably like 16. Probably, well actually it's November. She could probably be 15 or 16 if we're going off American ages for school. For some reason, she looked surprised. She must have been surprised by the sudden change of subject. I mean, you're singing so beautifully. Am I wrong? Oh, no. I'm a first year. In voice. I see. If you're a first year, was that song for homework? No, it wasn't. Is it a famous song? No. It's a good song, though. I'm sure whoever wrote it loves singing. Huh? You must like that song. It sounds like you've sung it many times. Also, I couldn't see the sheet music for it. It wasn't a very hard song to memorize, but I praised her anyway. Anyone would be happy hearing praise for a song they liked. Of course, that was my plan. But I did genuinely feel it was a beautiful song. Oh, yes. What looked like a smile finally appeared on the face of the girl whose name I didn't know. I'm Chris Verton. I'm a third-year Fortel student. Would you like to play together sometime? Relieved at her expression, I was able to ask her. It seemed pretty promising after all, but... Huh? She froze with a shocked expression and didn't say anything for a while. Did I say something wrong? Oh, it's okay if you can't. I was just thinking out loud. I said that to try and fix things, and she apologized with a thoughtful face. I'm sorry. I'm going home. Oh. She held her now closed bag under her arm and tried to pass by me. Not wanting things to end on that note, I called out to her from behind. Will you come back here? She turned around and stopped. No. Oh, sorry to bother you. Please say. What? My name. Need a name for that Eevee I got from the Dad Shines dude? It's male. What are you playing? Are you planning to evolve it? Do you have any plans for that? Usually if I go with an Eevee, I name it like I name it based on its evolution. Unless you just want it to be normal type, which I guess is fine. She said only that, then left. It seemed as if she felt obligated to tell me her name, since I had introduced myself. She didn't look very angry, and she said she wasn't coming back, but I thought it might be a good idea to come here one more time. There was no guarantee I'd see her, and I may not have even been welcome. But I felt like I'd see her if I came back. Oh, you don't have any... What, can you... Are all evolutions available in Gen 8? Or are there any that are missing? How does, how do you make a Sylveon in Gen 8? Because I heard they don't have, like, the mini-games and stuff from 6 and 7, right? Like the grooming and feeding mini-game? How do you, do a Sylveon now? Because I know in, like, Gen 6 I had to make a Sylveon by playing Pokemon and, like, raising its, like, relationship in there. Maybe they changed it to, like, just friendship, but that wouldn't make sense because you need max friendship and a time of day to do Umbreon and Espeon. So I wonder what they did for that. I peeked out the window to see the rain had gotten lighter. It was probably time to go home. I mean, a lot of people don't like anime art style because the faces just look so kid-like. A lot of people have serious problems with that, and I'm just like, it's a fucking cartoon. No one complains about American cartoons for that reason. And a lot of the time they have the similar issue. Wandered home, remembering her voice in that song. Name him Brown Sugar? I was gonna say Cinnamon, but I think that's too girly. You could do Nutmeg. That might be a little more gender neutral, but also not like super manly either. That's what I was wondering if you had any plans for evolution, because Nutmeg wouldn't make a lot of sense if you're going to like evolve it, because literally any other color isn't brown. Welcome home. You're late again today, huh? Were you practicing? Sort of. I wiped my head with the towel in the entryway and put my bag down. I ended up not even touching my Fertel. But I did hear a good song, so it wasn't a complete waste of a day. And if only she could, like, actually fly, she could fucking make food and do my cleaning, too. Hey, did something happen today? Something a little different happened. Something different? What was it? Oh, right, it's a shiny Eevee. Shit. Shoot, I don't know. Now I'm stuck in, like, the train of thought of, like, naming it after, like, food or spices or something. Dalfador. It sounds like a weird mix, like you're trying to go for, like, Gandalf, but then also, like, Ganondorf? That's a good fantasy name, though. I like that name. I'm not sure if it's, like, a good for an Eevee, but I like that name. I might have to steal that name for something. Nothing in specific, just, like, in general. So my usual interaction with Forney finished, and another day came to a close. Well, should we go back to the old wing? See if she's still there, or should we try someone else? I'm assuming we're gonna get another option to go and visit somewhere. My lesson with Miss Cordell was over, and I'd finished eating in the cafeteria. Up till now, the day would have been pretty much over at this point, but... What are you going to do today? It seemed I couldn't do that anymore. I still haven't decided on a partner, so I'll try looking. Dane's friendship with a fairy-type move for Sylveon. Interesting. So I guess it's kind of similar to the day and night time. So I'm guessing then the fairy-type move takes priority over the time of day. So like, if you have a fairy-type move, you're guaranteed a Sylveon and not an Umbreon Espeon. Pygon Spit. Pygon sounds like a cool word. I see. Well, good luck. Yeah, thanks. So, what to do? Okay, do we... Oh, we can't go back to the wing. Fuck! I was hoping we'd get to see her again, but no, we have to go somewhere else now. Like, pig on spit? What? You mean pigeon? Pig on a spit. I mean, no. I didn't eat ham for half my life and I didn't really like it, so we don't eat a lot of that. I don't really care for pig meat. Yeah, I know what like a pig on a spit is, but I'm not. What is that? What a pygon is? I've never heard of that term before. It's interesting. All right, should we try one of these other rooms? I guess then. We can go to the classrooms. We can go to the practice rooms or whatever the. I guess this is the concert hall. I don't know why they're using Italian for this one room, but sure. Just sounds like pig. Oh, you're making like a pun? Pygon. Pig on... I think I kind of get it. I mean, I guess if you ended up with like... Well, wait, if you evolve an Eevee, does it retain its shininess? I don't actually know how shinies work in that regard. I never thought about that. But I'm assuming that a shiny Pokemon retains shininess through evolution. Call it Samosis? That's a good one too. Man, there's been a lot of good names here. Greasy Joe. I like that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep that in mind. Expect a Pokemon. I don't know when, but in like the kind of nearest future, I'm hoping to do a Platinum Nuzlocke. So expect Greasy Joe. I'll use it on like a Bidoof or something. Because we all know I'm gonna get a fucking Bidoof in Route 201. It's a guarantee. Eevee stays shiny as evolves. Okay, yeah, I don't know what the other, like, shiny versions of the other colors are. Let's go to wherever this is. I'm guessing this is the concert hall. I was kind of hoping we could go back to the old wing, but I guess really best not to go there and fucking stalk her. She didn't want it. I stopped for a bit in front of the... Is it... Okay, what is this pronunciation? Cinacolo? Cinacolo? I don't know what fucking Italian phonics very well, so I mean... Cinacolo sounds like kind of right. What is a Cinacolo? I need to look this up now. Is this a real word? I'm assuming it is. It is. It's a real word. Kind of. Define, please. Cinacolo. Okay, it's got like a bit of like a t sound in there. Okay, all I'm getting... Oh, okay, so I'm getting... I don't know what it is in context of this game, but I'm getting like circle, and I'm getting the painting of the Last Supper, like the Da Vinci painting, and archaic but dining room. But the picture didn't depict like a dining room. It depicted what looked like a music room of some kind. but Tina Colo sounds right. We'll go with that. I've never heard of that. We're taking Italian 101 today, apparently, in this Japanese visual novel that's been translated to English. I stopped for a bit in front of the Cinecolo, which served as a lounge for the students. Okay, I guess it kind of is supposed to be a dining room. I almost never came here, and honestly had no good memories of it. But I told myself that it was just a place I could use at a time like this, and opened the door decisively. That doesn't... Okay, I guess it's a lounge. You're not eating here, though. There's too much music shit around. If anyone caught you eating in the music room at my old schools, you would have been fucking thrown out. 100%. Several students who were performing inside stopped their playing and looked at me. Of course, it didn't stop anyone. People brought food in all the time. Maybe they thought it was someone they knew? Most everyone that came here this early in the morning were probably serious students in private lessons in the morning like myself. It's like Mario, it's like the upper room. I mean, yeah, it's like a dining room or something. That's what Wiktionary gave me. It gave me dining room, it gave me the Last Supper, and it gave me a circle. Dining room's like the closest thing we've got to here, but you're definitely not eating food here. You're feasting on music. So I guess it counts. Morning. I nodded to them in greeting. I'd seen one of them before somewhere. Most likely a Fortel student. I realized again how little connection I had with the other students, and looked around the room for a while. The students who seemed to know me looked my way, talked amongst themselves, and immediately started playing again. They must have realized it would be useless to try and talk to me. That being the case, I should have taken the initiative and said something. I knew that, but for some reason I didn't want to. Just as their judgment was correct, my intuition about it was also probably right. Literally me. The number of people steadily increased, the ones playing and the ones conversing gradually splitting into two groups. Then there was me, doing neither, standing there like a wallflower. I asked myself why I was here, and remembered I had come to look for a partner. Having to pretend I had somewhere to go in front of Torta was basically the only reason I came here. Faced with the fact of how much of an outsider I was and having already lost the will to look, I started thinking this was a waste of time. But then, I met the gaze of a female student across from me. Are you, waiting for someone? She came over looking slightly hesitant and asked in a shy voice. No, I'm not. I was flustered by the student interaction, by the sudden interaction, but managed to answer. I kind of liked her modest way of speaking. Oh, I see. Then, why are you here? She got that far and then stopped as if interrupted. Actually, I was just about to leave. I thought it might be good to talk to her a bit more, but I also really did not want to stay much longer. Excuse me. Saying this, I went outside. Like the opposite of yesterday. That sure went well. The rain was a little stronger than normal that day. Ever streamed a poorly? No, but that's mostly because this is the second visual novel I've ever streamed. I've definitely played some poorly translated visual novels. I've got one on my Switch. I don't know if it's like safe for stream though, but it is on Switch, so maybe it would be? It's not even like a Japanese visual novel, it's from China. Which I don't think I've heard of too many Chinese visual novels. That's why I wasn't in a very good mood. It's just normal in the morning. When did it get so strong? It wasn't the usual light drizzle, but rather big drops of water visible to the naked eye. Maybe I'll wait a little longer. I stood in the entryway, just out of reach of the rain, gazed into space. As I stood there thinking about what to do, my field of view suddenly darkened. Would you like to share? Huh? Is she like the only person in the city that has an umbrella? At some point I had moved slightly into the rain. My bangs were wet, so were my shoulders. And there was an umbrella over my head, out of the blue, which made me aware of just how wet I was. I noticed for the first time that I was standing in the rain when it stopped hitting me. I lost words. I just gazed in silence at the umbrella. Of course, they sold umbrellas at the general store, though I rarely saw people using them. But since coming here, this may have been my first time actually standing under an umbrella. Realizing that, of course, someone had to be holding the umbrella, I turned my head to look. For a moment, I thought it might have been Torta, but soon learned I was wrong. You are... I haven't introduced myself, have I? My name is Falsita. Falsita Fawcett. She smiled at me with the umbrella held out at an angle, then tilted her head, still smiling. Is something wrong? Nah. Should we walk as we talk? Okay. Oh shit, maybe this did go better than we thought. I still don't know why I was under the umbrella of someone I didn't know, or why I was walking with her. The sound of the rain hitting the umbrella was different than on the pavement. It was surprisingly soft. I introduced myself as we walked, and we were silent for a long time afterward. Is something wrong? No. I was holding the umbrella, so her hands were free. I didn't have any ulterior motives or expectations. I knew I wasn't that kind of person. I just didn't want someone to have to hold an umbrella for me as I walked. Did I come on a little too strong? She said this slightly bemusedly and slowed her pace. Before she stopped walking altogether, I made sure to continue talking in the hope that this would keep her going. No, not at all. It's just rare for me to be under an umbrella. Really? I guess you're right, though. Most people in the city don't use umbrellas. Yeah, but thanks. Oh, you don't have to thank me. But why were you there? Were you waiting for someone at the Chinacolo? Well... After showing some reluctance, she continued. She has an umbrella? Oh, she's a keeper. Yeah, we get the perk. If we go with her, we get the perk of not having to, like, go to school drenched. We get the perk of dry clothes. It's probably the best perk in the game. Are they Japanese? So it's set in Italy, but the game is from Japan. But you know, being from a game from Japan, everyone has Japanese mannerisms. Because of course. But it's supposed to be set in, like, not Italy. After showing some reluctance, she continued. You look a little uncomfortable. Me? Yeah. So I went outside thinking you were sick, and saw you looking up at the rain. Is that right? I gripped the umbrella tighter and continued. Thank you. Of course. She passed off my gratitude with a little nod. But is that really all? Have I met you somewhere before? I brought up the subject to try and cover up my slight embarrassment. It was true that I'd felt that way a little since hearing her name. Nevertheless, her mild-mannered and refined features left an impression, and I probably wouldn't have forgotten her if I'd actually met her in class. I was at least sure that I hadn't met her in Fortel class, and I couldn't think of any situations where I might have run into her. No, I must be mistaken. She just listened with a smile, and I added this entirely like an excuse. Then she smiled modestly. We may have met somewhere. May have? I'm not sure, though. That means... if you've been probably attending school functions, there's a good chance we met before. School functions? I don't really go all the time. I never go if I'm not required to. Really? Still, we may have seen each other. I was class president up until last spring. Really? Oh, I think I'm starting to remember. I thought I had met her at some kind of function and said a greeting. Because I wasn't really paying attention to the conversation. All I remembered was that someone was talking. Sorry. Why are you sorry? Because I'm not a serious student. Don't worry about it. Umbrella's an automatic plus. I agree. I think if we have to, like, make a choice, I'm gonna fucking push for her. Just punch the rain away. No. Do the do Toho player strats. Just dodge the rain. Fuck. I need the link to that video. Just do Toho strat and dodge rain. I'm hoping it's still readily available on Discord here. I need the link. Shit. Oh, here it is. Hell yeah. No, you just do this. is all you need to do. Just dodge all the rain like it's nothing. Easy. See, watch this guy. This guy knows how to go through the rain. You don't need no umbrella. Just believe. Easy. See? Why spend money on an umbrella when you can just practice the art of dodging? She didn't practice the art of dodging. Nah, it was never gonna happen with her. Why do you think this girl's walking around with an umbrella? She doesn't know how to dodge the rain. Probably spent all her time practicing singing when she could have been practicing dodging. She said this with an elegant demeanor, as she had done several times already. It sounded so natural, like she really meant it. If you said she was suited to be the class president of a school attended by many children of aristocrats in the upper class, you'd be right. Thanks. We had just arrived at the boundary between the main street and the old district. Oh, my place is in the old district. I just walked here without thinking. Oh, right. Is something wrong? No, I was just thinking that your place might not be in the old district, Miss Falsita. It's no problem. I live here too. Oh, I see. She had an air about her that didn't suit the old district and its cheap apartments. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. That wasn't something to ask someone I just met. I decided to leave it alone. I see. Ah. Also, you don't have to be so formal. Call me Fal. All my friends call me that. Miss Fal? I didn't really think the two of us would become close, but she asked me, so I couldn't refuse. Even so, I couldn't just use her nickname. Clumsily stuck Miss on the front. Yeah, I think we have our winner. Easy. Watch plot twist. She doesn't actually sing at all. And we can't actually choose her as our partner. Since her way home was the same, I continued walking under her umbrella. So Chris, you're a Fertel student. We were students at the same school, so the conversation naturally went this way. Amazing. So you have the ability? No, not so much. It's just a coincidence. Nothing amazing. Do you really think so? I really do. That's pretty rare. She said that sounding like it was neither good nor bad. That reminds me. You're a third-year student, right, Chris? Yeah, I am. How'd you know that? You performed at the concert hall a little while ago, right? At the summer concert. There were 3 seasonal concerts a year at the school, so many students performed. Pretty sure that there was no way to see all the performances. Which meant... Are you perchance a Fertel student, Miss Fal? If that was the case, it would have been a very rude thing to ask. There's no way I shouldn't remember her. No, I'm a voice student. Score. But I watched all the Fertel performances. Did you have to watch them all? No, I didn't. But I enjoyed them. I always just leave when my part is over. That's what I thought. She smiled in agreement, as if she had begun to understand me a little. I didn't find that unpleasant. Is this game like just literally me? Because like anytime I had to do a fucking school function, I like went there, waited until it was my turn, did my thing, and just fucking booked it. Because I ain't sticking around for that shit. But you're a voice student. The idea I suddenly had then didn't seem very realistic. She seemed popular, and I was sure she already had a partner. Oh, I wanted to ask you. Do you already have a partner, Chris? Just as I was giving up on asking her, she suddenly asked me. Huh? No, not yet. That's good. I actually don't have a partner yet. Would you like to play together sometime? I know you can't decide right away, so I was thinking it would be good if we could perform together sometime. I felt like she had planned this a little too well, but I couldn't see a reason to refuse. We could see if our music and personalities matched or not. But, are you sure? My, sure. I'm the one asking you. If we're just trying out for now, I should be asking you. I don't have a partner yet and was in the middle of looking for one. Just as I thought. You were at the Chenocolo, so I figured that was it. As she said this, it was time for us to part ways. I'm this way. Ah, I'm that way. She said this with a slight look of disappointment. Oh, but let me walk you to your door. I feel bad if I brought you this far just to let you get wet now. No, it's close, so I'm fine. Really? Yes, about what you were saying. When should we meet? I'm busy this week, so from next week would be better. Anytime next week? No, sorry. Just Tuesday and Thursday. Then, I'm free on Sunday. Tuesday or Thursday is fine. I don't want to go to school on my day off. I thought you'd say that, Chris. What time do you have lessons? Second period, so I'm finished in the morning. I'm first period, so how about around noon? Do you mind if I eat first? Of course not. I'll reserve a practice room around that time. The place should be... She tilted her head as if in thought. To make it easy, how about the practice room at the very end of the hall? Oh, sure. But we didn't decide on Tuesday or Thursday. I'll be in the practice room regardless. I always practice there. Ah, that's right. You're a serious student. Actually, there are people who practice much more than I do. Still, it's very you, Miss Val. Very... me? That wasn't something to say to someone I just met. Just a gut feeling. I see. She just said that and laughed. Alright, see you on Tuesday or Thursday. Yes, see you then. With a graceful bow goodbye, she turned to leave. I hurriedly called out to her from behind. Oh, yes? What is it? Thank you for the umbrella. Oh, you don't have to thank me. After parting ways with Miss Val, I ran down the road that would normally be a 3-minute walk and returned home. My hair and clothes didn't end up getting that wet. Oh, welcome home! I was out of breath, so I paused for a moment before answering. I'm home. Did you run? A little. Oh, did something happen? Sort of. I decided to explain later and moved from the entryway into the room for now. Huh? You need to wipe off with a towel today? I'm not that wet. I guess I need to explain that too. Oh. Well, tell me what happened. Forney asked with great interest, and I told her about the day's events, as I always did. Then my usual interaction with Forney finished, and the day came to a close. I don't know what day of the week we're on. What day did we start on? Sunday? Shit, is this Thursday? I don't know what that means. Giovetti? Is that Friday or Saturday? I feel like yesterday might have been Thursday. I finished my morning practice as always and finished eating. Tortoise seemed to have just finished eating too, and was staring at me like kind of like she wanted to know what I was going to do. What? What are you going to do now? What am I going to do? I'm just getting started, so I'll look for a partner without rushing it. You do need to rush things a little. I've found some promising candidates. Really? That's good then. Really? So don't worry too much. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going home today. Okay, see you tomorrow. So what to do? Where can we go today? We have to meet her next week, so we can't decide on anyone yet. Actually, can we meet her today? Because, like, I mean, I'm down for Umbrella Girl. Umbrella's a good perk. We find a partner, and we get, like, a free dry walk home. I would say that's an absolute win. But I don't know if we're meeting her today or not. Or we can meet her today. She said she was always in the practice room, so maybe we can. I'm gonna go for it. Or are we just gonna fucking hang out here on our own? Maybe it was like specifically next week. Needed to look for a partner, but the next thing I knew, I was at the practice rooms. I didn't think anything good would come from rushing things, so I thought I should practice a song. Oh, yo, we can play a song? Fuck yeah, you know what? It's been like forever since we actually got to play anything. I'm down to play more music. Is this gonna be any different than before? Feels a little different, but might be the same song. It's been so long since I played the last one, I don't even remember. I want to like actually count how many keys I end up playing here because that's like at least 5. We're up to 5 now. 6, 7, 8. 9. Yeah, move over, Beat Mania. Got some real competition here. Fucking even O2 Jam ain't got nothing on this. Oh my god, I fucked that one up. That was worse than last time. Oh, it's not over yet. Yeah, that was like close to last time actually. How fast would you need to be to dodge gravity? I... What? You can't... That's not something you can dodge. I'm not sure what you mean by that question. So that's it. Did we just waste a day? Finished playing the song and after a while the normal silence returned to the practice room. I was doing pretty well today. I didn't have anything to worry about there. As I thought that, I remembered Miss Cordell's angry face and laughed lightly. Now then, I took the sheet music from the stand, put it in my bag, and went out. The pale light that shone through the clouds told me that not much time had passed since lunch. Normally I would go home around this time, but now that I had to choose a partner, I couldn't go home so early. Realizing that Miss Cordell would give me a lecture if she found me, I hurried toward the city. Oh? This is new. Yo, is this like an outdoor roofed mall? That's kind of cool. After walking away from the school for a while, I came to the main road that divided the city in two. I would not call that dodging, though. I mean, I guess I kind of see what you mean. Like, do you mean escape velocity? Because that's like 8,000 kilometers an hour. Or is 8,000? What was this? Is it per hour or per second? Earth escape velocity. Yeah, it's 11.2 kilometers per second. That's how fast you have to go if you want to leave Earth. That's how fast rockets go. Although usually they travel faster than that, because it takes a little bit to leave Earth. Divided into a western side called the New District and an eastern side called the Old District. The main road ran right down the middle of them. The apartment I lived in had cheap rent and was in the part of the town which most of the residents of the city lived. The New District, on the other hand, was made to house the many aristocrats that came in to live in the city after it became known as the City of Music. It contained rows of newer, grander houses. Because I had almost no confidence in the New District, I didn't really know much about it. Once I left the main road to the east, I was in the part of town that I knew well. From the windows of the rows of buildings I could hear music being played, unpolished, as if children were practicing. At night you could hear the sounds of adults singing and playing their various instruments happily as they drank. As the rain bounced off the cobblestone streets, I walked carefully so my shoes wouldn't make noise, letting the music and rain pass through my ears. Imagine a town where everyone was okay with you playing your fucking trumpet at 3 a.m. I'm home. Oh, welcome home. You're early today. Yep. I mean, still wouldn't call it dodging, but yeah, like you can leave Earth. Gravity's not impossible to leave. I mean, we go to fucking space. That's obvious. Unless you're one of those people. I told Forney about my fairly uneventful day. Then they made dinner as always, and as always, I just fell asleep. So that was a waste of a day. Good. Glad we accomplished nothing. Okay, if I had to take a guess, if Italian's anything like French, today is Friday. That's about all I can guess. I could be wrong, but today might be Friday. Practice and food. I passed the time until lunch like I always did, and was thinking about what to do when Torta came and started talking to me. So, how are you doing? Well, not bad. That wasn't very convincing. You'll just have to believe me. Why are you so unmotivated? Asking me is useless. You know when you asked, right? Yeah, I know. Thanks. Okay, I'm leaving. Alright, see you next week. See ya. Maybe today's Saturday. I don't fucking know. Well, we only have one place left. Could go and fucking stalk the afternoon students. I saw Torta out of the cafeteria and remained there so I could speak with Asino. Asino had lessons with Miss Cordell as well, and took her classes straight after me, after the lunch break. I decided to kill some time in the cafeteria, and then head on to the classrooms. No, you can't dodge physics. Because if you could dodge physics, that means you're still following the laws of physics. And therefore you're not dodging physics. It was about 5 minutes before the third period lessons ended, and there was no one in the hallways. It's literally impossible to break the laws of physics, because if you do something that you think is breaking the laws of physics, that just means you didn't understand physics properly, and you're still following the laws of physics. Because otherwise it would be literally impossible to do. Even crazy things like time travel, or teleportation, or like telekinetic powers, or whatever. If you could do any of those things, you'd still be following the laws of physics. Because you're able to do them. So in front of the room I had just had a lesson in, and killed a little time again looking at the music I wrote. Oh, but then, what did the atoms turn into? Whatever it is, you're still following physics. That just means the laws of physics allow that to happen. Friction is not a vector, but even if it was, it would still be within the laws of physics. I heard Asino's voice, then closed the music and raised my head. Oh, finally, there's another man in this place! I was surrounded by the stench of bitches! I was getting worried for a bit there. Hi, Chris. Oh, what's up? Well, can we partner with him? Can we just say, like, fuck everyone else and partner with this guy? He seems kinda cool. This is rare. But you weren't waiting for me, were you? Miss Cordell is still inside. No, I was waiting for you, Asino. That really is rare. Other than Torta, Asino was my only good friend. Even so, we weren't together all the time. I didn't feel like we needed to be. I could see him anytime I needed to, but I sometimes didn't see him for over a week. I mean, yeah, bag of sugar, if it existed, it would follow the laws of physics. Just means that physics support wherever the fuck the bag can do. Whatever your question is, the answer is yes. It's not breaking physics. Of course, if we just happened to meet, we'd go for a meal together. But today wasn't a chance meeting. I want to ask you a favor. Me? Okay. This is gonna take a while. We should go somewhere quieter. Let's walk and talk in that case. Sino replied with his usual twitch of the lips grin and started walking. Hello? Ah, Professor. Afternoon. Miss Cornell leaned on the door and looked at us. Are you going to discuss the matter of your partner? That's the plan. Oh, you haven't found one either, Chris? Wait, you mean... Oh, wait, no. He can't be our partner. He's competition. Fuck. This isn't good. Well, it appears you both have yet to find partners. The professor said this evenly, neither angry nor sympathetic. Well, I have a candidate, more or less. Don't let me in with him. Hey, I have a candidate too. Fuck you. You're not the only one with a candidate. Tortinita, right? What's wrong with that? Nothing, of course. If you ask me, you're both in the same boat. That's true, but... I know. That's why I want to talk to Asino. But I guess there's no point if he's in the same situation. How do you know if you haven't even tried? Just work up the will to find someone. You're saying that to Chris only, right? Well, in your case, Asino, I haven't heard your candidate's name. I'll tell you when I decide. You decide on a candidate or decide if you're taking them? Yes, I know. That's why I'm not worried about you. I still don't understand how or why she wears half a pair of glasses. How does that even work? How do those stay on? Forget anime logic for a sec. Why the fuck is she wearing this? But you're worried about me? Yes. With a rare smile, the professor nodded lightly. Must be nice having people having your back. Shut up. Regardless. When I glared at Asino for being sarcastic, the professor raised her voice in reproach. Doing anything is better than nothing. It also serves as an excuse. To you, Professor? Even to yourself. Miss Cordell smiled lightly in salutation and walked back to the teacher's room to prepare for her next lesson. Anyway, Asino used the opportunity to segue back to the original subject. I'm worried about you too, so I'll help you out. Yeah, much obliged. After what Miss Cordell said to me, I couldn't very well refuse. I was already planning to ask for his help anyway. Not to show my gratitude, and decided to let Asino choose what to do next. Well, let's get out of here in any case. Yeah, but where to? Somewhere suitable. Maybe to Ginacolo. Can't get more suitable than that. And that's why I suggest it. See how this works? Dina said this definitively and started walking toward the second hall. When I went there last time, I'd been made painfully aware that it would probably be impossible to find a partner. I was able to meet Miss Fowl, however, so I couldn't say it was a complete failure. Also, being with Asino, who was so good with people, would make things different, right? Well, alright. I mumbled this to myself and followed him. Maybe we'll see Fowl here again. In the room were a few students who seemed to be third years like myself, playing something improvised. First and second years would still be in class at this time, so I probably wasn't wrong. Oh, 2 spaces. Bad game, 0 out of 10. They pressed space twice. They must have noticed someone enter as they stopped playing right away, and one of them called out to Asino. Oh, Asino, what's up? Not much. Anyway, are you a voice student? What are you talking about? I'm a piano student. How could you forget? I thought your voice was beautiful as you are. Damn, what a player. probably didn't take the joke seriously, but she smiled and forgave the mistake. As Asino carried on going over to speak to more people, I remained leaning against the wall, just watching him intently. At some point he said that although he was registered as a Fortel student, he really wanted to be a lyricist. That may have been why Asino was able to use sweet talk so shamelessly. And people seemed to like it, so you could call it talent, I suppose. Do you think a lot of voice students will come today? Yeah, my friends said they would come by later. What? Don't you have a partner yet, Asino? Unfortunately, no, but we're not looking for my partner today. Really? Yeah, well, in that case, I think we'll wait until they show up. Asino waved goodbye to the girl and then walked over to me. Hey, Chris, you want to do this or what? Not really. Remove all atoms from an individual. I mean, nothing. If it's invincible. No, a normal glass bottle, if you made a vacuum seal, honestly, you would need a lot of pressure on the outside. Like, if just on Earth, it wouldn't really do anything, regardless if it's invincible or not. Because, like, the pressure outside would not be strong enough to implode the bottle if you were to make a perfect vacuum. Because people use glass bottles to make vacuums often in, like, chemistry and shit. Space might be a different story, but even then, probably nothing really would happen because, like, the pressure inside and outside would be the same. What are we here for then? To look for a partner? Fine. Nothing gets started until that voice students get here anyway. I'll just be killing time, alright? I'll be hanging around too. Gotcha. If someone fits the bill shows up, you talk to them, okay? Yeah, I can't promise anything. Will do, for now. Until they show up. I promise to remember to do it until they show up. Put my back up against the wall and surveyed the room. More people came as time passed. The Chinacola was really living up to its role as a venue to promote student interaction. Oh, wow. And of course I could hear Asino's voice from far away talking happily to a female student. He talked in a very friendly way, but had said that he hardly remembered any of the girls' names. I don't know if that was impressive or not. As for myself, I wasn't good at talking to new people, even worse when they talked to me. People must get that sense from me, as no one had approached me yet. Chris, being a wallflower doesn't suit you. I think it suits me fine. Okay? Yeah? Said the same words he said to me a long time ago. Thought it nostalgic, but also found the timing of it puzzling, not to mention annoying. Why don't you go use that line on the girls? Nah, I'm bored with that. Which is why you're now speaking to a guy, is that it? Exactly. Asino said this, evidently joking. Then his face turned serious. What is it that you want to do today? You brought me here. This kind of place doesn't suit me. I guess that's true. You want to go? What, we're going to leave? Just like that? Yeah, well, let's go outside for now. Got it. Well, there's lots of other things in space. Even if there's no, like, visible atoms, there's still, like, theoretical shit, like dark matter. Which is, there's a lot of evidence to support that. And it's not quite what you think. Just because it's matter, it's not made of, like, atoms and shit. But there is stuff in space. Space isn't completely empty. You'll have to go look it up. I would highly recommend to research that topic better. I would not be a good person to explain it, but there's a lot of shit in space. More than you think. We shut the door and Asino started talking as we walked. You're wondering why I suggested leaving so abruptly? Yeah, you look like you're having fun, so I kind of felt bad. I didn't come here today for me. Sorry. No, don't be. But I wasn't even looking very seriously. You looked a little, didn't you? A little? By a little, I meant that I looked at the faces of students passing by and decided in my head that they'd be no good. Hell yeah. That's the ticket. Right? Wasn't anyone there good for you anyway? Good for me. In a lot of ways, personally and musically. Oh, yeah, I thought so too. He knows I have a girlfriend already, right? We strolled around the campus together, but in the end it came down to nothing. I love that the rain is so loud, it even drowns out the background music. We stopped just outside the campus. Asino walked brazenly through the misty rain. found myself frowning in the rain when Asino turned around in his usual manner and called over to me. Hurry up. Not like this is the first time you've seen rain. I know, I just don't really like getting wet. You say that, but you stick out like a sore thumb using an umbrella. I know. That's just because the people here think it's uncool. If you ask me, they're out of their minds. What kind of place is this where it's uncool to use an umbrella? Or the fuck? Could you imagine if everyone did that and there's just like one guy with an umbrella walking around? Such a kid. You're right. I'm gonna have to catch up with Asino, who resumed talking about the original subject. Yeah, see, why can't we team up with this guy? It's a shame that he plays the Fortell and he doesn't sing. Because I would totally team up with this guy. You could just pair up with Tortanita if it comes to that. Let's just call it off for today. Yeah. Can't get very excited about that. Then again, I wasn't really looking forward to whoever Miss Cordell would bring. Huh? What's up? Wouldn't Miss Cordell be picking Tortanita? Or would she pick someone else? Conversation had tapered off and Asino let out a sigh of resignation. Oh, I'm a little tired is all. Oh, sorry about today, bringing you along on this pointless exercise. I said you don't need to be sorry. I said they didn't suit me before, right? Are we talking about girls? Yeah, but they don't really suit you either, do they, Asino? Oh, where's this going? How so? You don't even remember the girls' names. Is that why isn't that why you're tired? No, everyone has fun. Does everyone include you? Are you jealous? What? Of the girls? I don't know where you came to that conclusion. You're cute, Chris. Oh shit! Right on the head followed this odd remark. Hey. Yeah. Should we head home? I'm going home. Not because you said. I retorted and slapped the hand on my head away, but Asino's strange smile didn't falter. Okay, let's walk together as far as the main road. I found out. I don't know what I would call it. Like my own special particle. Problem is, my real names would not make for a good particle. Like, the Higgs boson is named after the guy who discovered it or theorized about it, right? That's a cool name for a particle. My names would not be good for particles. They're too long. In the end, Asino ignored my continued protests and remained in a good mood. Right, Chris, you don't have any plans. How about we have dinner together? Oh shit. Can we actually get on with this guy instead? What a twist that would be. I don't have any plans. Okay, I guess. I always made my own dinner. I didn't have a part-time job, so all I had to live on was the allowance my parents sent me. As for my tuition, Fortell students received grants from the government, so it wasn't expensive. So I was able to live a pretty easy life without putting too much strain on my parents. But the fact remained I was still burdening my parents to some extent, so I made sure that I didn't waste money. Where do you want to go? Asino lived in the city with his family, so he had no problem spending extravagantly. I always turned it down when it was a place I couldn't afford. Okay, forget the umbrella girl. If we can, like, actually legit just pick him instead, I'm gonna do it. I want to see where this goes. But Asino knew that, so he usually didn't invite me to eat at those kinds of places. I found a nice trattoria? Fucking Italian words. And of course it's affordable. I see. That'll be fine. I haven't had a meal with anyone in a while. I don't even know what kind of food that is. Oh, it's a cafeteria. Okay. A trattoria was like a cafeteria and wasn't too luxurious. I could easily eat out at like this about once a month. My parents even told me to. Yeah, it's in the old district, so it's close to your place, Chris. You may even know it. No, I didn't know there's a trattoria close to my apartment. I don't eat out much, and when I do, it's mostly with you, Asino. But the old district? Is something wrong? It's just unusual. You almost always take me somewhere in the new district, or someplace on the main road. A friend took me there. I really liked it. Sign on the shop Asino brought me to said Copert. Looked like a quite stylish place. Wow, how uncharacteristically tasteful for you, Asino. You're one to talk. Well, you don't even have to add the ion to it. It could just be like the Cory or something like that. But I don't know if I'd want to use that name. That's the thing. I'd want something cooler than that. Like, you know how they have the fucking... there's that virus that... was it type of cancer or something? I think, like, named after Pikachu. I want something like that. And then there's, like, the other, like, pair of cells or something. One was named after Sonic and the other one was named after Robotnik. Because, like, the Sonic part cells, like, destroyed the Robotnik cells. See, people can have fun with the names. I'm just not very creative. Inside it was crowded, it being right after dinner time. Sina must have come here many times, called out cheerfully to one of the girls, and they talked happily as she showed us to a table. What will you have, Chris? For anything, just whatever. You always say that, so I guess you don't need to hear the specials. Yeah, I'll have pasta. Pepperoni to make it easy. Ordering like you're a regular. Fine, I'll have the same. I've had all the others. Simple pasta made with just peppers, garlic, and olive oil, but it is said that you could tell how good a restaurant is by their pepperoncini? Pepperoncini. I fucking misread that. I've had that before. That is good pasta, if it is a bit simplistic. That was my intention, of course. I just ordered it because I liked it. But Asino knew this and shrugged his shoulders teasingly. So, about your partner. Asino talked while eating the food that had been brought out. The flavor was so great that even Asino liked it. So it's not tortanita? God, why does everyone want to put me with torta? Because that would be natural. I suppose it would be. Also, it's bad for me if you don't pair up. Why is it bad for you, Asino? Tortanita's been on my case. She wants me to help her. You're lying. She doesn't actually said it. I can tell though. That's just what you think. Well, that's beside the point. Enough. What's the reason? The reason why I won't pair up with Torta? I can't figure it out. Are you worried as a friend, or... Which is common courtesy, of course. Thanks, I guess. You must know it's about Audrey. Arietta, huh? I never met her, so I don't know. But I think Tortanita suits you better. You won't understand, Asino. Torta's fine, but Ari... She's not. Not okay? Well, it's your problem, so you deal with it. Well, of course I will. It wasn't me that brought this topic up. I worry. Shouldn't you worry about yourself first? Of course. Who said I was worried about you? Yeah. Thank you. I was used to Asino talking like this. He was truly worried about me, so he passed it off by saying it was common courtesy. If he was really asking from curiosity, he was really good at acting seriously worried. In the end, that must have been all he wanted to talk about. After that, we just chatted. Electric Dagger 2907. Yes! No, give it like a dumb username from like 2003. And then you just have that written in all the science books from then on out. After we finished eating, we left the restaurant and parted ways. I'm home. Oh, welcome home. You're late again today. I ate out. Oh, I see. The restaurant Asino took me to was good, but I thought something was strange about Asino's attitude. Wonder why he was so worried. Were you with Asino? Yep. Then he told Forney about my day, as always. And so this day too announced its end with no real result to show for it. Was there any more I could do? Was there supposed to be something I could have done? I don't think there was. Okay, it's definitely Sunday. So, 2 days from now we need to make sure we go to the practice room if we want Umbrella Girl. Unless there's like some hint that we can go with Asino instead. 5 long days over, I took Saturday and Sunday off. And I've been killing time again today too. Well, it's just the same as always. Now then, The time was a little after 6 o'clock. It was just about time for Arie's letter to be in the mailbox. It's about time, isn't it? Forney noticed me talking to myself and was thinking the same as always. Or the same as thing I was. I'll go get it. Okay, see you soon. Even though I was only going to get the letter from the mailbox just outside my door, Forney always sent me off happily. I didn't show Forney the letters from Marie. She badgered me many times to see them at first, but when I declined saying I was embarrassed, she didn't ask much from then on. Well, Forney was probably only interested in the letters because we could do our ensembles when I was finished reading. We are gonna get, like, backstory on everything, right? I took out the letter I knew would be in the mailbox and went back to my room. Even though we wouldn't start until I'd read the letter and written my reply, I could tell Forney was thinking about the ensemble from the restless flapping of her wings. I suppose you could say she was uncomplicated. I ignored her, carefully cut open the envelope, and took out the letter. Inside was a single sheet of paper, like always. Single sheet of paper, but they clearly showed two in the picture. Wouldn't have even been that hard, just, don't draw a second piece of paper. Would have made more sense. Chris, is it still raining there? In a rare turn of events, it rained here recently too. I like rainy days because I can understand how you feel, Chris. Now, I know this is sudden, but Tortoise seems worried about your partner situation. She wrote me that you aren't looking seriously, but that's just like you, Chris. You've always had a bad habit of getting annoyed and putting things off ever since we were little. Tortoise said that you talk a little different now, but that underneath you are still very much the same. But I know that you're serious about things you really like, Chris, so it's okay. Thinking about what you like, all I can come up with is music. This might be a problem. I'm wandering off topic. Don't you think it would be best to look seriously? Or maybe by the time I've written this letter, you will have found someone good and already practicing. If so, I'm sorry. I'll apologize first. If not, I can imagine you sulking like a kid saying, I'm already doing that. You haven't decided yet. How about Torta? I'm just an amateur and don't know much, but I just thought that since you've known her since you were little, it'd be easy to play together. In the end, you should decide as you like, Chris, so I'm sorry for meddling. Until the next letter, then. Love, Arietta. Yeah, she's a fairy. Wait, you didn't notice the wings before? Took my eyes off the letter and was lost in thought for a while. I knew I should pair up with Torta, but for some reason I was hesitant. I'd have to do it if I really couldn't find anyone else, but that wasn't the case yet. I wasn't really expecting it. Miss Falsita had asked me. And I may have been wrong about this one, but there was Lise, the girl I was strangely interested in. If I told Torta this, though, she'd get angry at me for being so indecisive. But I felt that some distance between Torta and myself was needed, so it wasn't something to decide then and there. Just a little longer. I wonder if it was so bad to take some more time to think about this problem. True, there really wasn't much time left, but one could also say that there was over a month left. What a bother. Of course, thinking that way only could mean even more problems for me, but I couldn't help it. Hey, did you write your reply? Does it look like I did? No, it doesn't. That's why I asked. And you should tell me to hurry up and write it. Then hurry up and write it. I was the one who told her to say that, but it still made me a little angry. I was just trying to correct her language. But I knew that even if I explained that, Forney wouldn't have understood. Yeah. I answered casually and got ready to write my reply. I decided to keep the content simple. I tried my best to avoid the topic of whether or not I'd pair up with Torta. She'd just say the same things again in her next letter, but I'd deal with that when the time came. I just wanted to put it off for a little while. Hey, are you done yet? Almost. It was a letter on a single sheet, just as short as Arie's. Thinking that my letters to her must be just as piled up as hers were, I put Arie's letter in the drawer and put the one I just read in an empty envelope. Forney saw this and began warming up her voice to hurry me along. Her actions were so ostentatious, I was driven by a desire to tease her a little. Or ostentatious. I can't read. But I thought that teasing her after keeping her waiting would make Forney mad, so I stopped myself. Alright, let's begin. Okay. Then my ensemble with the fairy began as usual, and then the day drew to a close. Are we sure we can't, choose her? Somehow? Is she, the secret third person? What if secretly Miss Cordell knew about the fairy and that's who she had in mind? What a twist that would be. As usual, I woke up to Forney's greeting and got ready for school. But bit by bit, changes were about to follow in a life that had stayed the same until just last week. I may come home a little later starting today. Didn't you say the same thing last week? Of course, I was busy last week looking for people and so on, but from this week, I might even be later. Huh, and why is that? Do you think that finding someone is the end of it? I have to practice after that, so of course I'll stay later. That's true. That was easier than expected. I thought you'd have more complaints like, so late, or stupid Chris. Are you trying to sound like me? I guess. You should stop. Right, sorry. It's okay if you know it. Well, there's nothing to be done about coming home late on weekdays, so make sure you don't schedule practice on Sundays. Why not? Because you'll say, I'm tired, or that's it, and then we won't do our ensembles. Were you trying to sound like me? I'll stop. Shouldn't have started in the first place. Anyway, I can't deny that possibility, so I'll avoid practicing on Sundays. That's good. In any case, I had no intention of practicing on the weekend. Well, you probably had no intention of practicing on the weekend. That's not true. Really? Yes, really. That was a lie, but having something like that said to my face was bound to make me mad. Time to settle this topic and just move on. Anyway, I'll be a little late, so don't get worried. Okay. Once in a blue moon, Forney would get things right away. She'd accept it when there was something I really didn't like, or when I refused to give way. But on the other hand, she could be selfish, or say things that only got me in trouble, so it wasn't all praise for me. Okay, see you later. And we're gonna fucking... Oh, I guess we have like... I thought school started at 10, but it starts at 10:30. I was like, man, we're gonna have to fucking book its class at this point. Took a deep breath of the moist morning air and ran out into the rain. My letter to Ari was in my bag, where it wouldn't get wet. I ran to the mailbox and posted my letter, using my body to shield it from the rain. This letter would reach Ari, and her next letter would reach me. That cycle alone would never change. Just like this rain. Always been raining. Hi. Oh, good morning. As I was warming my fingers, Miss Cordell entered the classroom, a little later than me. It seems you did quite a lot last week. But were there results? A lot. How do you know about that? I'm your teacher. What I should be aware of, I am. Not really answering the question. I didn't intend to. So? Perhaps she'd heard it from Asino? Well, I don't think that my efforts were in vain. You mean, aside from Tortinita? Yes, for now. I'm asking for names, Chris. Tired of your placeholder answers. You know a student by the name of Falsita Fawcett? Yes, I do. Of course, nothing's been decided yet, but we've talked about playing together. I see. And what are you planning to do, Chris? I don't know yet, of course. We're going to see how we sound together sometime this week. I'll take it from there. That was supposed to be an unexpected name, but Miss Cordell simply nodded without any sign of surprise. Well, I'd never seen Miss Cordell surprised before, so such a reaction might have put me in a spot. Oh, and then there was Lise. But this was extremely uncertain, so it was probably better not to mention it. Well, Chris, you did well, I suppose, given your track record. It does feel strange to be praised for finding just one more candidate. Did that sound like praise to you? No, my mistake. Good. Now then, time for practice. Are you ready? Yes. Then let's begin. There wasn't anything I wanted to eat, so I made do with a simple lunch. Just when I thought it was about time, lo and behold, Torta sat down and hurriedly beside me. Hi. Morning. Well, how did it go last week? Miss Cordell asked me the same thing, and the week before too. That just shows how much she cares about you, right? You should be honored. Thanks for the optimism. Well, I found one more candidate, that's all. An increase. Huh? Nothing. So is it? Someone I know? I don't know about that, Torta, but her name is Falsita. Of course I know her. I think everyone does. She used to be class president. So it's true. And, are you gonna practice together? More or less. When? She said Tuesday or Thursday. Is something wrong? What about the other days? She said she had some errands to run. Hey, Torta. Why was she asking all these questions? I wanted to ask her about it, but Torta looked down and thought for just a second, then looked at me again. So that means you won't be practicing every day, right? No, I guess not. I might go to the practice rooms by myself, though. Even though the chances of that happening were almost non-existent. In that case, will you practice with me? Your song for the graduation recital. Anything is fine. It's Arie's letter. She asked me to help you out. Thing is, I'm busy with my own song, so it's not as if I have that much time to spare. I see. She wrote it in your letter, too. Which means she said the same thing in your letter. Yeah, although I called her a busybody in my reply. Ooh. Well, what do we do? I think it's worth a shot. Then how about today? Shall we practice? Today, huh? Should we practice? This could affect our chances with Umbrella Girl, but maybe it'll be worthwhile. She might see us practicing and then get jealous. Is it a risk we're willing to take, though? That's the real question. I mean, I'm down to practice if it means getting to play more music. You know what? Fuck it. We won't have to tell her anything. Sure, let's see how it sounds. I don't want to give Arie any even more reason to worry. That's true. Well then, let's go to the practice rooms. Alright. It was Monday, so the practice rooms would be crowded. Looking around carefully, Torta started searching for an available practice room. Maybe one of them are available? You sound like you really don't want to practice. I'm the one that invited you, so of course that's not it. You have a pretty bad image of me. If you don't like the image, then change a little. Maybe then people will see you differently. Yeah, thanks, but I already knew that. You don't know a thing. Oh, that one's free. You found it just in the nick of time. I'm desperate here. I'd be happy if you got desperate about other things. Ooh. Where's this going? Shit. We can't fucking cheat on Umbrella Girl or our actual girlfriend that I just remembered existed. Definitely didn't forget. No, totally. Yeah, let's go. So what song will we play? What about the song I saw before? It looks like you've practiced it a lot. You thought about vocals when you wrote it, right? That's true, but... That song, I wrote it with Arie in mind. I didn't mind when Forney sang it, but... If Torta sang it, I felt like it would be rude to both of them. Haven't you written a song, Torta? I wrote one, but I was only thinking about vocals. How about that? Let me see the sheet music if you have it. I guess I don't mind showing you. Saying this, Torta took the sheet music out of her bag to show me. I looked at it, picturing the song in my head. The piano part was more complete than I thought. Though not completely perfect for the Fratelli just yet, it seemed an easy fix to rearrange the piano part for it. This is a good song. Really? Thanks. If I arrange the piano parts, I think I can play them on the Fratelli. Are you alright with that, Chris? I'm not too bad at sight reading. Yeah, you always have been able to sight read really well. Exactly. Anyway, truth is, I have a song, but I don't like it very much. So if we pair up, I was hoping we could use your song, Torta. Also, I haven't decided whether I'll definitely partner with you, so I was thinking it would be best if you could practice your song. Got it. If you really think so, there's no reason for me to refuse. Yeah, thanks. Then a slightly unnatural silence fell. But Torta seemed to recover quickly and spoke in a cheerful voice. But I only have one copy of the sheet music. Right, well, I only have one of mine too. Are you good at copying music, Torta? Better than you. No problem, I'll do it. Besides, it's not like I expected you to do it in the first place. Thanks, that's a great help. What else could I do? What about your song? Will you play it with other people? No, I won't play that song. Like I said, I don't like it very much. I see. I guess that's fine. Huh? Nothing. So the problem is now today's practice. Oh, right. Well, fine. I'll start aiming from behind, so it's okay. Behind? Behind you, of course. Could you stand next to me? I couldn't see then, could I? Right behind me? Yes, like I said. That's a little... Can't you sing it from without the sheet music, Torta? What? I wonder. Yeah, I don't think I can practice without the sheet music. No, just be patient while I copy the music. You're not making it easy. I'd only need to be patient if it was a hardship for me. So did Torta know that she was putting me in that position? So, can you play it without the sheet music, Chris? No, that's too much. If I'm gonna memorize it, I'll need at least a week. Right? Don't sweat the small stuff. Now let's start. But... could it be you don't like people behind you? Well... I wanted to say something about that, but Torta interrupted me. You're like a child. I'm not a child. So it's fine, right? Alright. It was better to let her do it than have her call me a child, I thought. Okay, let's try to get in sync. Can you really not sing with it without looking? Of course! Torta put her hand on my shoulder and peeked at the music from behind me. Hey, begin. It seems, like, slightly uncomfortable. Like, I wouldn't know if I'd want someone... I never liked it when the teachers were looking over my shoulder when I was trying to fucking play piano. This doesn't seem any better. Ever thought Italians dress like this? I mean, there's probably, like, private schools or something over there, and they probably have a dress code or uniform. It won't do any good for me to start by myself, will it? We need to face each other and get the timing first. We can do it without that. If you just start, I'll join. Just today, okay? That's what I said. Go ahead. Got it. Oh, fuck yeah, new music. Let's go. Well, I mean, it's raining, to be fair. Like, a lot. Oh my god. I just... Too many keys. If only I was better at VSRGs. This would be better. Reminder that the way I play actually affects the plot, so this is gonna go great. What? That's a new key? What the fuck is this? Oh my god, fuck this shit. Way to throw a fucking curveball. Oh yeah, let's just get him to press the fucking less than key. Yeah, that's a good key to play. Yeah, this went horribly. Yeah, that's also part of the plot. There's a... Continue? Oh shit. Oh no. Can we get a mulligan? I want a fucking mulligan. I deserve a mulligan on that. Oh wait. I pressed N! Was it backwards? Was yes what I wanted to say to like continue playing? And I thought it was like continue the story. Fuck! I really fucked up. No, but like the rain is a part of the plot. It rains all the time here for some reason. I don't know if it'll be explained, but it's part of the plot. I wasn't expecting all that shit. Oh yeah, let's just make it play less than key. Oh yeah, here's like the entirety of the bottom row of the keyboard. No way you're translating this to a controller. Imagine trying to make like a fucking arcade controller for this game. I think I've had to play like half the keyboard so far. I'm just waiting for them to throw in a number line next time. Phew. Listen, Chris. You don't have to tell me. Distraction of being watched from behind made for a poor result. Yeah, it did. It was just, you could see me, but I couldn't see you. I felt like I was being watched the whole time, so it was hard. You're becoming really good at such excuses. Also, if you actually focus on your playing, it wouldn't bother you. I tried. So do you want to switch places? No. It was a premeditated crime. You don't know what premeditated means. I know what it means and how to use it. Overruled. It had actually been about 3 years since I'd performed an ensemble with Torta. Since we'd come to the school, we hadn't yet played together as our majors were different. That meant that the last time was really just when we were goofing around at our local music school. Because of the gap of several years, we weren't able to play together very well. I knew that being watched from behind was nothing more than an excuse. Torta being that close to me was the biggest reason I was unsettled. Whether Torta knew that or not, she continued fooling around and teasing me. I mean, it looks like it would be hard with someone watching me from behind. That's what I just said, isn't it? Maybe I heard it, maybe I didn't. Whatever. We can't perform anywhere like this. Let's practice some more. That's true. I'm ready anytime. Oh, we get a mulligan? Fuck yeah, good. I want my mulligan. We just rolled into another practice, but yeah, it's a little hard like this. It's okay. There's no problem. For you? Okay, I'm going. Yeah. This is Noah's Ark. Yeah, maybe this is like 3,000, 4,000 BC or wherever the fuck Noah's Ark was supposed to take place. Science really advanced a lot. Oh, we don't get to play again. Fuck. I wanted my redo. I'm sure I could have done better the second time. This is gonna suck. We're gonna fucking play with Umbrella Girl tomorrow, and it's not gonna go well at all. This is gonna go horribly. After that, time passed by in an instant. It was literally like returning to my childhood days. I was able to tell my partner what I thought was bad about hesitation, or without hesitation, and Torta also told me frankly what she thought. There were, of course, many things for which restraint and consideration were necessary, but there are many good things about my current relationship with Torta, if only in relation to music. Shall we stop for today? Yeah, good work. You too. I noticed the sheet music on the stand while cleaning up the practice room and gave it to Torta. Here, I can leave the copying to you, right? Yeah, I'll do it before next time. That went so poorly. Rain wasn't as hard as I thought. I was a little concerned that it was still raining where Arietta was too, but soon I realized that probably it's already stopped. There was much distance between us, and by the time I let her reach her, much would have changed. On the other hand, the distance between myself and my other childhood friend was surprisingly close. If I called out to her now, she'd turn around. Did you say something? Torta was walking a few paces in front and turned to look at me. Was I thinking out loud? Nothing. That's weird. You'll catch a cold if you walk so slow. I know. Feigning toughness, I sped up my pace to walk next to her. I was next to her, close enough to exchange words. Maybe it's because we practiced so late, but I'm hungry. Torta started happily making small talk. The closeness was a little hard for me at the time. As usual, I finished my morning lesson and lunch. Well then, what should I do next? Okay, this is Tuesday, right? We need to go to the practice room today? Wait, why is there 2 practice rooms? Which one's the one we have to meet her in? Shit, do I have to make a save here? Fuck. I don't know which one it is. She said at the end, but they're both at the end of the hall. So this is just great. I think this is the one we normally go to. This is probably the new one. We're gonna try it. If I have to reload, I will. I headed to the far end of the hallway connecting to the practice rooms. To the place I was to meet Fal. Okay, good. You picked the right one. I decided to go see her on the first day she'd specified, as I was interested in finding out what her voice and her approach to music were like. Now that I think about it, I had only a few experiences of rehearsing with someone that I barely knew. I was slightly nervous as I peeked through the small window of the practice room door, but I smiled at her immediately. I was wondering what I should have said if she had been singing, but there were no signs of her singing, as she just sat at the piano, reading the music. The rooms were soundproof, so I doubted that she would hear me knock. However, I knocked lightly on the door just in case. Good afternoon. Oh, Chris. Hello there. She pushed the piano chair back and turned to face me. How nice of you to come by so soon. Well, I didn't have any plans in particular, so... Taking my bag from my shoulder, I started to wonder what kind of approach to take, when Fal took the reins and began talking. I know this is sudden, but shall we just try rehearsing something? Since it is our first attempt, I really don't mind what song we use. It may be more practical for us to use a song that we will actually play at the graduation recital. I agree. You pen your own compositions, do you not? More or less, yes. Speaking of which, do people in the vocal course also pen their own songs? Pen, huh? Why did I say that? Is speaking formally that strange for you? Well, yes. Was it that obvious? It is not often that I hear other people use the term pen a composition. It sounds rather natural when you use that expression, though, Fal. Perhaps I should be a little less formal then. Huh? We are both in the same year, after all. Saying this to me teasingly, I was reminded that we actually were in the same year. It'd be a bit odd if we kept talking like that after becoming partners. If we do, that is. Maybe it was because she was always in a position to speak politely, but her eloquent use of words had always seemed natural to me. But she also sounded natural when speaking like any other young girl, as she did now. That's true. So, shall we try to keep it casual then? If you have no objections, then let us do that. Done. We both kind of nodded in agreement, and then returned to our discussion. Alright, well, I've written some songs too. I wrote some that should match the fortell, so in that sense they should be okay. You wrote with the fortell in mind? I was hoping to pair up with a fortell player if possible, but as there was no one who played at the time, I made the songs in a way that allowed for the vocal solos, so it's all good. What can I say? I was impressed by how thorough she had been. Just from her attitude towards music, there was a big difference between us. But she was the one that approached me wanting to try rehearsing together, so I guess I didn't really need to be concerned about any differences between us. I'm not really sure what your songs are like, but I guess we'll have to choose one of mine or yours. That is true, I mean, yeah. Perhaps it was because I rarely spoke to other girls besides Torta Ari, but despite the fact we just decided to stop being so formal, I was still being awkward. You can speak however you like, you know. Despite my awkwardness, I did feel a certain comfort in the friendly way Fal spoke to me. It's not like we had decided to partner up, but with that in mind, I decided I should try to speak as normally as possible. Nah, I'm okay now. I'll speak like how I always do. Saying you're okay still sounds a little strange, but... Anyway, about the song. Yeah, mind if I mention something about that? Be my guest? I'd always practice this song without anything in particular in mind. Of course, it wasn't like I put nothing into its composition. However, it was true that it wasn't composed with a singer in mind. Perhaps Ari, but even then that's a long shot. Not like I imagined her hilariously poor singing when I composed it though. It was a song I composed while thinking about Ari after reading her letters. The song I composed might not suit you so well. What do you mean? It was composed with a different singer in mind, so it might not be in the key that suits your voice. Oh, I see. It wasn't a harmful lie. My song wouldn't have suited Fal. So if it's okay, why don't we go with your song? I don't mind. After saying a few words, she went quiet. She stared into my eyes as if searching for something, and then her face lit up with a smile. Sure, let's go with mine then. Okay, great. This is good. Scores I copied won't go to waste. I was relieved that she didn't attempt to pry. I like how she already had something set up here. That's a little worrisome, but we'll see how this plays out. You've already made copies of yours? I've completely forgotten. Oh, really? Well, I guess you're in luck. Upon saying this, she reached into her bag and got out the scores. Here you are. I was in a rush when I copied them, so they might be a little messy. I checked them in the moment she said that, but I soon realized she was just being humble. It's a shame that technology in this place hasn't progressed far enough to create photocopiers. Or they don't have, like, magic photocopiers or something. The carefully written notes and symbols were done in the shorthand way only an experienced musician would write. However, it hardly made them look messy. In fact, it gave an even stronger impression of their quality. You think this is messy? It is to me. Anyway, what do you think of the song? Jokingly, she commented on the quality of her score. I sat myself down in the chair in front of my fortel, and I imagined the melody on the paper. So, how is it? Just a sec. Reading through the score, I traced the keys with my fingertips. Chris, are you good at sight reading? Yeah, totally. No, definitely. Definitely didn't botch the last sight read at all. Nope, not one bit. Perfect score. Yeah, I'm not bad. In that case, shall we just give it a try? Practice first. I like the idea of practicing first. Do we get, like, infinite practice? Because I'm down for practicing. Actually, do you mind if I practice a little first? Not at all. Go ahead. I'll just sit and listen. Thanks. I won't take long. Yeah, I don't know about not taking long. That might be a lie. We'll see how this goes. Oh, fuck. Oh no, what is this? What the fuck do I even do here? Oh, fuck that. Fuck this. I actually was expecting this game to be this hard. Even on hard. Like, I was thinking, oh, you know, it's like a fucking visual novel first, rhythm game second. They're not gonna make it, like, actually challenging. There's no way they would do that. Still easier than the last song. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Holy shit. Good thing we're practicing. I hope I get another chance to do this because I want another practice. Fuck, I'm not messing this one up. We need our dry walks home. I got 1. Not even a 3. Okay, what if I press yes to continuing this time? I can reload. Oh, okay. Now I understand how it works. Fuck this part though. I don't even know how you're supposed to do that. This is like going beyond some more rhythm game. Oh yeah, this is rhythm game. Like this is the ultimate rhythm game. We're doing like fucking 26 key rhythm game here. As you can see, it's going great. I pressed the right button, fuck you. I need to like practice this part more than anything. I want to practice like my left hand first and then I'll add the right hand next time. I have half a mind. I mean, it would make no sense though, and it'd probably be even harder. But if I mapped my actual piano, I wonder if that would be like even marginally easier. Probably not, because then I have to like try and remember which key is which. Because there's no like real graphic consistency with anything. So there's absolutely no way that would work. But that would be cool if it did. Yeah, we got 2 that time. That's way better. All keys are random. I mean, that's like actually a setting in a lot of rhythm games, to be fair. There's a setting like that in Donkey Konga. You can make it so each note is different. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. If I can just like bullshit my way through it somehow, which is probably not gonna happen. I pressed P, what? Oh, I'm not pressing P. No wonder. I was pressing like left bracket. Can I even like hit? Actually, I'm wondering if I can even hit both those buttons at once. That actually might affect my ability to play. That would actually suck if I couldn't. I'm actually gonna check that after this attempt. Because there's like actually a good chance that those buttons down there are like impossible for me to play together. Which is something I was definitely worried about with this keyboard. I did it! I passed! Okay, maybe we don't need to worry about that. This actually games might be very forgiving. Holy shit, okay. So as long as we get 1 yellow, we're good. I don't know if we need 2. That might just be like... Yeah. That's all we needed to get. I would still want to see though before we continue. It's mostly because I can't play fucking like VSRGs, like traditional rhythm games. I can't play most of them. And if you're gonna give me like 26 keys, I've had to play pretty much every letter on the keyboard so far, and some non-letters like left angled bracket, semicolon, shit like that. But I want to see, let's see, N key roll over test. Here we go. I want to make sure I can press left angled bracket and those keys together. Okay, if I can press that, I can press X and left bracket together. I can press those together. Okay, as long as we don't ever need more than like 4 keys on any given row, we should be okay for most part. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we actually should be okay. I'm testing my keys now. Every row seems to be okay with any combination. Oh, unless I play... Okay, so top and bottom rows are like interconnected, which is weird. That might be a problem, but I don't think that's gonna be rare. Unlikely. So we might be okay. I can't use that as an excuse, but I did pass it, so we're fine. Why semicolon? Well, I think the idea is like... So it's a fucking made-up instrument, I think, but it's supposed to be kind of like a piano. And it... Basically, you have to use every key on your keyboard. All the letter keys are used. So it's like probably one of the most complicated rhythm games I've played, next to like actually playing Synthesia with a real piano. Phew. Do you want to practice more before we start? I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna give it one more try. We're gonna do one more practice. Yeah. We're gonna do one more practice just to double check, but then we'll actually do it. Because like your performance actually affects the way the story goes. So I want to make sure I'm gonna do this right if we want to get Umbrella Girl. Okay, I kind of pressed it that time. I don't need that section to pass. Not necessarily, anyways. Fuck that section. Still like half the song to go, so it might be okay. But man, if I could like figure out that section, this would be nothing. I don't know why that section's easier. Because, like, it's basically the same section. I think it's just a little more consistent with its pattern. Alright, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Of course there is. It's the internet. There's rule 34 of everyone. Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready, Fal. I'm ready. I'm good to go. In that case, we shall start. Let's do this. It's gonna go way better than with the other one. This is only like the third song in the game, too. Oops. Wow. Way to fuck up right away. I hit that one at least. Fuck that. It's okay, I'll do the next like big rhythm section and we'll be fine. Here we go. Excellent. Fucking did it. Yeah, Womp doesn't like anime face. Womp's so scared of anime. It's too deep in the uncanny valley for him, I guess. Good job. That was impressive for a first attempt. Really? The sound of your foretell is just how I imagined it would be. I'm not really used to being complimented. There's no need to be shy, you know. Val seemed kind of happy with she said this, and then took a peek at the score in front of me. At the moment, the only things I could comment on are little things like here, or this part here. Your fingers weren't quite keeping up. Yeah, no, little things, yeah, like where I just fucking botched the huge third of the song. No, definitely, just little things, you know? You don't have to sugarcoat it. I know what I did wrong, okay? Can't press fucking XV and left angled bracket at the same time, okay? How would I play with 7 mitts? I wouldn't. I would not. That's how I would play this with oven mitts. It would not happen. It's honestly, it's a surprise. It's surprises me I can even press Z and X for Osu with oven mitts. There's no fucking way I'm typing. That's really what this is, it's just typing. I don't think I could type with the oven mitts on. She suddenly moved her face closer to mine, but don't buy it now because I'm going to switch to Osu soon probably. This is gonna have to be continued next Thursday, but we'll finish this day off. She suddenly moved her face closer to mine and pointed at a specific spot on the score. With her face so close to mine that I could almost feel her breath, my eyes didn't end up looking at what she was pointing to. Oh. I'm sorry. It's okay. Anyway, that's the only issue I could see. Ultimately, we'll have to perform it much better, but for now I think we're fine. We were so close that we almost touched, and even though Fal moved away and tried to look calm, her face was getting red. My heart hurt just a tiny bit at the sight of that. It was the exact same expression Ari had shown me once before. I don't think I was being excessively self-conscious, but that expression on Fal's face was more than enough to remind me of Ari. That's kind of you to say. It's also true. She seemed relieved as she spoke, probably because of the change of topic and the wide berth it gave to what just happened in the room. Thanks. So keeping what you just said in mind, shall we practice a bit more? Sure, why not? We still have plenty of time. Alright. The awkward atmosphere had just lingered soon disappeared, and we were both returned to our scores to continue practicing. Phew. Our practice for today ended with the two of us sighing deeply. Perhaps it was best because we had just been a long time since I'd rehearsed with someone besides Forney, or even played new songs, but I quite enjoyed the practice. We couldn't see outside, but upon looking at the clock on the wall, I realized that it was more or less evening now. Time really does pass but quickly when you're practicing seriously, doesn't it? It was still too early for the school to be closed completely, but it was about the time that our teachers would do their rounds. We started to make an effort to pack up. What should I do with this score? Oh, you can keep that. I don't really plan to practice with anyone else at the moment, but if I do, I'll just make another copy. I don't recall copying a score to be that easy, though. I remembered having to copy the scores of famous compositions in class, and started to have my doubts about it being something one can just do. It's okay, I'm used to it. Also, I actually don't mind writing out the scores. A smile lit up her face as she spoke, one that almost suggested she really did enjoy it. Okay, right. I was honestly impressed, and just for a brief moment, I felt embarrassed about my own laziness. One of the requirements for graduating was a performance with another musician, and I hadn't found a partner, or even prepared a score for that hypothetical partner. Just seeing the dedication that Fal put in was enough to engrave that into my mind. You're really impressive. No, I'm not. Fal smiled happily, and then picked up her bag as if to show she'd finished packing up. Prompted by her, I quickly put my score in my bag, and we left the practice room. Looking out the window, I noticed the rain had gone just a little lighter. Are you heading home now, Fal? No, not yet. I would like to leave with you, but I don't think I can today. Oh, okay. We weren't exactly close enough for me to have felt any pangs of regret, but I did feel something about her words when she said she would like to leave with me. I'm going to head home. Sure. Before you go, there's something I'd like to ask you. What is it? What did you think of today? What did I think? Of my singing, or practice, that kind of thing. Well, I said so before too, but I thought you were really good. You think so? Thanks. I really did enjoy your foretell too. Thanks a lot. Before I knew it, the uncomfortable feeling that I had felt in the beginning about playing with someone I didn't know about practically disappeared. It was all thanks to Fal, and how easygoing she was about it all. Even having only spent a very short amount of time with her, I felt it would be impossible for anyone not to like her after witnessing how sincere she was towards music, and everything else. I was no exception to this, and I smiled back at her naturally as I asked about what we would do next. So, what's next? I guess if you still want more time, before choosing a partner, right? I guess so, yeah. In that case, I'm always here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you have time, why don't we practice again? Sounds good, although I can't make any promises. That's no problem at all. Done. So if I come by again, would it be okay about the same time as today? Yes, I'll use the same room. If someone else happens to be using it before me, I'll just move one room down the hallway, so be sure to check through the window. Okay, got it. I saw no problems in taking it slow to decide what we should really do next. And I felt it was important to have time to broaden our future options. So, what are you going to do now, Fal? I have something to do in the first hall. Okay, let's go to the entrance together then. This is I mean, it's a visual novel. Usually visual novels have some element of that. That's where the misconception that all visual novels are dating sims comes from. But just because it is a visual novel doesn't mean it is one. Although I think this one's safe to say it probably is. Standing in front of the school building, Fal spoke as she looked up at the sky. I didn't bring an umbrella today. It's only raining lightly. She should be okay. I thought umbrellas weren't cool. Do you really want to hang out with someone who thinks they're cool? No, we do. That's why we're here. He was just playing coy with Asino earlier. Yeah, see you. I stood and watched her nimbly walk off toward the first wing. Then I began to head back to the rain-enveloped town. Just as I had told Fal, it was only raining lightly. Normally my uniform would be soaked and clinging to my skin, but today it wasn't so bad. Perhaps it was because of the lack of unpleasantness, but today I took my time as I headed home. Alright, we'll save it here, and I'll play a little bit of Osu. How about that? So we're not... Because otherwise, I'm going to get carried away, and this is just going to be every week, and then everything else will be neglected. Because this is actually kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to... We'll save it. New slot. Man, if I have to start making a fucking schedule so we can keep track of when we're supposed to go to these different places, I'll do it. But I think Tuesdays and Thursdays are easy to remember. So let me go here for a bit. And I'll set up Osu. Let me quit this out. End game. Yes. God, that rhythm game was like way harder than I expected it to be.